Hello, everybody, and welcome to Relatively Gaming. My name is Turn-Based TJ, aka TJ, and I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Enigma 9011, aka Brett. How you doing today, Mr. Legend?
I'm doing great. I feel legendary. Why do I feel legendary? I don't know. Usually you're a legend after you die. I'm still here right now. But I'm doing
No,
good.
no, we want to be legends while we live, like Cyberpunk, you know?
Ooh. I wouldn't know. I haven't played that much of it, as we learned last week.
Yes. It's okay. We got a channel redemption point coming up on your
Oh,
on your
shit.
stream, so
Cool. Well, I'm
and
doing
it's gonna
good.
say Cyberpunk 60 hours next to it. It's gonna say
Well,
you have to
well, well,
play for
that's not the
60
rules. Hold
hours.
on there, Chief. I'm
Well, I'm
doing
glad you're doing
good.
well.
How are you?
I'm also doing really good. Looking forward to the weekend. When this episode comes out, I believe it's June 1st, and
Yeah.
June is our birthday month, so
Woo.
I'm pretty pumped up. I'm pretty excited,
We're getting
pretty
old.
happy
Double
overall. Yeah,
threes.
no, no, no. 30s are the new 20s.
It's
So
true. We always grew up like, oh my God, 30's so old. But then you're like, wait, hold on a second. Like, it
yeah, then you
feels
hit
like we're
30.
old in a way and ancient. And then in another way, it's like, come on. I mean, no days guaranteed. But like, we're still, all going well. There's a long road ahead still.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're not even halfway there. So.
exactly.
Great. Well, this is the Relatively Gaming podcast. We talk about all things relatively gaming, like potentially how old is 30. That's a relatively gaming topic. But we also talk about video games. We talk about some video game news right up front. We talk about the games that we've been playing personally. We have a dreaded mystery section. And then we just talk about a game that we're looking forward to in the future, something that's going to excite us to keep playing video games. So, Brett, why don't you kick us off with the news? What do you have for us this week?
Sure thing. I feel like I have more than I normally have in a week, but I don't know how exciting any of it is. So let's start with a bummer. Let's start with an article coming from Eurogamer and Fran Ruiz over there. Title of the article, Hideo Kojima and Nicholas Winding Refn, I'm so sorry, have teamed up for a Prada mode event, teaser exploring new creative possibilities through AI technology. Yay. The article proceeds, Hideo Kojima and filmmaker Nicholas Winding have teamed up again after Death Stranding 2, but they aren't working on a new game or movie. Instead, they've released a short with the help of AI tools for Prada. The teaser film, which you can partially watch here, and there's a link if you want to go follow it, was revealed this week at the 79th Cannes Film Festival by Prada. It's meant to promote an upcoming mode event in New York next month, even if the setting and vibes are purely sci-fi and retro-inspired. The full thing runs for 6 minutes and shows Refn and Kojima themselves traveling through space and crashing on a hostile planet, but the teaser released online is much shorter. Though the creative process hasn't been fully explained, this quote-unquote artistic experiment was a playful exploration of new creative possibilities through AI technology, because getting two people in a couple of old-fashioned sets was probably too expensive for Prada. At some point in the video, Kojima subtly morphs into a guy that's clearly not him. In any case, Refn sounds quite proud about the duo's Satellites 2 short, calling it, quote, a space odyssey following us as we traverse a sci-fi dreamscape, unquote. At the time of writing, it's unclear what Kojima has to say about the endeavor, but Refn has also added they, quote, have shared the feeling that we were somehow split from the same consciousness, Jesus Christ, sorry, that's for me, moving through different lives while orbiting the same obsessions, unquote, which forced me to do a double take. Unsurprisingly, the online reactions are mostly negative. Quote, all right then, Mr. Kojima, have fun in the festering slop pit with the rest of the AI weirdos, unquote, a Reset era user commented.
Wow.
So yeah, Kojima going in the AI route, at least for this short project. Do you have any thoughts and feelings on Kojima AI TM?
Well, every time I think of it, when I hear AI movie, I just immediately picture Will Smith trying to eat spaghetti, and that's stuck in my head permanently. But I know the technology has improved a lot in the last like 5 years since that came out. But I just think it's weird that he's had a weird career
Sure.
because now wasn't it last Game Awards or the year before that where it was announced that Hideo Kojima is actually working with Jordan Peele on a project
Yeah,
as
they're
well.
working on the Xbox title together, I believe.
Yeah, so he's collaborating with a lot of filmmakers and a lot of different people and a lot of different genres and things. So that's really interesting to me. I'm glad that he's branching out, but yeah, I'm not very happy that it's AI though. It'd be
Right.
cool if it wasn't. It'd be cool if he put his effort into literally anything else.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what his motivation was for it. If it's just, yeah, experiment for potential future stuff. Like, obviously, he made PT, right? The test
Yeah.
demo? Okay. The technical test demo for Silent Hill, or at least that's a speculation. I don't remember if that was ever confirmed. So I don't know if this is just another test for eventually what's next. Obviously, Death Stranding, while I've played very little bit, and shout out to Papa Griff, he finished it recently. Hey,
Oh, nice.
yeah. Obviously, Death Stranding is very impressive in its technicality of like, wow, all these actors in there and like the graphic fidelity and stuff like that. I haven't played or watched much of Death Stranding 2, so I mean, I assume it continues in that. But like, he goes hard in his projects and obviously pushes the boundaries, whether it's graphics or cinematics. Apparently he does some long ass cinematics.
Yes.
So I don't know if this is just him poking around before trying something in the game field. And there's nothing wrong with experimentation, but yeah, it's the generative AI crap that's like the just the disappointing factor in this. I hope he sees the feedback here and can be like, hey, all right, you know what, not something I want to chase. And we've talked about it for a while, but this AI bubble, it's like, all right, when is this thing gonna pop? I feel like in one way I see good news and I see like that hope core content on TikTok where like people are lashing out against data centers and like bills are passing where data centers aren't going to be built in certain areas and are barred from that. And like we talked about Sora AI kind of shit in the bed. I keep seeing different companies being like, yeah, actually the investments in AI are costing us a bunch of money. And I'm like, over here with my little pom-poms, like, yeah, go, go, go. But then I keep seeing stuff and I'm like, fucking hell. Like Google apparently is going AI search engine. And I'm like, flips table, flips desk, like kick in door. I'm like, what are you doing? It's just,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
get
already
it.
bad enough with Google where the top like text box result is automatically AI and you have to scroll past it every time and be like, no, I don't want the AI.
And
Although
the AI
sometimes the
overview's
AI,
wrong.
yeah, sometimes it'll just be wrong. It'll just
Yeah.
be incorrect information.
Yep.
And I'm like, wow, it's a good thing that I did my due diligence because otherwise I'd be running around like a dumbass.
Exactly. And like, luckily you do that. I know people who don't because they constantly reach out to me with questions. And I'm like, motherfucker, you just can't go off of this. You got to poke in and dig around a little bit. Like, no offense, we learned this in high school and middle school even. Write a paper, cite your sources, do your research. It's like, what are you doing? And our
To
parents
be
are
fair,
always like, don't believe what you read on the internet, but not our parents specifically, but that
right.
generation also is like, oh, look at this thing on Facebook. And it's like, no.
To be fair, and this is maybe a little tangential to what we're talking about, but when it came to citing your sources, I always, 100% of the time, I don't think I ever wrote a paper that I didn't do this. I went to Wikipedia and I scrolled to the bottom where they had their sources, and I used,
Oh.
I just copy and pasted their sources from Wikipedia and then used the information in the Wikipedia article.
All right. Well, I'm editing that
Oh,
part out. So, hi, welcome. No, I'm just
yeah.
kidding.
Kids, don't be like me. Don't be. That's an old school technique. I don't think that even works anymore. Now you can just use AI and
Yeah.
like give me some sources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, yeah, a bit disappointing. I'm not even the biggest Kojima fan, but I like respect, obviously, what he's made and like what he's fought for in terms of like his ideas and whatnot. But yeah, this is just a bit of a bummer. So I don't know. I guess time will tell. See if this turns into anything bigger. If this was just a one-off type thing for him. Yeah.
Yeah, more and more heroes I feel like start are buying into the AI thing, and it hurts a little bit every time.
Yeah. Well, let's stick on the bummer train. Unfortunately, for now, this comes from Game Informer. And Wesley LeBlanc over there. Valve just raised the price of the Steam Deck by hundreds of dollars.
Hmm.
If you don't already own a Steam Deck but do want one, I have some bad news for you. Valve just raised the price by hundreds of dollars. While the LCD version of the deck has been discontinued, but is still great and available secondhand, the OLED 512GB and 1TB versions are now back in stock, but with increased prices that quote unquote reflect the current state of component costs and other global logistical challenges across the industry as a whole, unquote, Valve has announced. The 512GB OLED deck will now cost $789, up from
The
$549.
fuck?
The 1TB OLED deck will now cost you $949, up from $649. That is a $240 and $300 price jump, respectively. That makes yesterday the best time to buy a Steam Deck because these new prices are in effect immediately. While unfortunate for would-be buyers, this price jump isn't all that surprising. Valve joins PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo in raising hardware prices in response to current logistical-related computing costs. RAM, in particular, is especially hard to come by these days as AI companies buy it up in bulk to power data centers and more. It doesn't help that the U.S. president, has enacted tariffs that affect countries worldwide, including America, when it comes to cost. This does not inspire confidence in Valve's plans to release the console-like Steam machine this year, despite launching the Steam controller earlier this month, which it was able to do because the controller does not use RAM, as you pointed out. Let's see, because the controller doesn't use RAM, a high-demand, low-supply component that things like the Steam Deck and Steam Machine need. Let's see. Yeah, that was it from Wesley. I do have a follow-up on this as well. This comes from Blue Sky and one of my favorite users, Wario64. If you guys ever need to look for deals for games, Wario's got you covered because this man or woman, this person, covers shit like nonstop. So yeah, the price increase, they reported that. And guess what, TJ?
What's that?
Steam Deck 1TB OLED at the new $949 price just sold out. That was a day ago.
My God.
So people are buying them.
What are we doing? I'm sorry, but $949, what are you doing here? But you could buy a computer for that price.
Yeah.
And then, it does other things besides video games and is not a handheld.
Yeah.
But additionally, you could buy a PlayStation and a Switch, like a PlayStation 5 and a Switch for the price of a Steam Deck. That is insane to me. Now, I will note that it is $50 cheaper than an Asus ROG Xbox Ally X. However, that was always priced astronomically to me. It seems so ridiculous with handhelds. I just think I know we're in this new era of like handheld video games, which is like, don't get me wrong, as a kid, I never had a TV in my room. So I always was playing video games. Like 90% of my video game time was on handheld devices, was on the DS and the Game Boy Advance and these handheld gaming. So I always wanted, like, my dream as a kid, I was like, man, if I could just have a console-like experience in a handheld, if they could just put Super Smash Brothers on a handheld, I'd be so happy. And they finally did that, but now it's like the monkey paw curls, where it's like, yes, we can have console-like experiences in the palm of our hands. It's also going to be $1,000, so screw you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate, and that I don't know what you call him. I'm gonna say Skeet just because it's from Sky. That post from Wario64 was also a follow up. They did post that the 512 gig model at 789 did sell out as well. So both of those price increases, both models are now out of stock again. So people bought them, but Jesus Christ, yeah, it's insane. We're seeing more of the effects, as Wesley mentioned in the article, of the RAM shortages. And unfortunately, this hobby is getting more and more insane. We really got to be selective now, unfortunately, with what we want. If you want a system, like, not that it was easy to get in the past, like, these things were still expensive, but you really got to make sure, save up, make sure it's the move you want to make, and kind of be smart with your money, because everything's going up. And yeah, it's just a bummer, because this is meant to be a hobby and meant to be something fun, and to see how expensive it is, it's just like, fuck, man, what are we supposed to do? Where do we escape? Stupid.
Yeah, and I always used to say that I bought into the value proposition of video games theory. Have you heard of this? Where it's like, you go to a movie theater and you pay $20 for a movie that lasts an hour and a half or 2 hours, whereas you buy a video game that costs $60, yes, but you could get 100 hours out of that video game.
Sure.
So technically your money stretches further with the video game because you're spending more time on it,
Yeah.
even though it's more expensive up front. I don't know if that's the case anymore because of hardware sales. I don't know that the value proposition is still there for video games. I think as an entertainment medium, it's not a cheap value proposition anymore. I think it's one of the more expensive things you could do.
Right. It's definitely getting harder to validate that. But yeah, I get you. And it just like I don't want to be all dooms. Everything's wrong with the world, but like I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting scared. Like thank God my PS5 still works. There was that scare I had a few Christmases ago where it just turned off after like 30 minutes, and luckily all I had to do was rip this thing apart and clean it like super well internally. But like obviously it's not gonna live forever. One day it's gonna go.
Hmm.
What do I do from there? Like, I feel like I'm in a decent position, but like I said, it's going to have to be more meticulous of like, okay, I got to set aside some money. It's not just going to be like, oh shit, it broke, boom, let's go replace it type thing. I'm going to have to think it over a little bit more, which,
Yeah, I've also been kind of planning ahead for the future for inevitability because, as this podcast knows, I do 99% of my gaming on the computer, on the PC, and my PC will not play a video game unless you restart it.
mm,
Why that is, I don't know. I've had IT people look at my computer. We have tried to fix it. I don't know what the problem is, but I do know that it's not going to live forever. So, I got myself a second console this weekend. I'll talk about that in a further part of the episode. But yeah, I did that exclusively because I was like, well, if my PC dies tomorrow, which it always could, I want to be able to play some of my favorite games. So
yeah,
that's why I went and did that. So I totally understand that fear, that trepidation. You don't want to be cut off from your hobby just because some hardware fails.
right. Yeah, we're all getting edged out too, cost wise, it seems. And it's like, that sucks.
Yeah.
All right, well, enough of the bummer news. Not to brush off, obviously, what we've talked about here, but let's try and turn this around and talk about some more positive stuff. Unreal Engine 6 got revealed at a Rocket League event. So yeah, there's more development tools coming from Epic. Looked amazing, looked very cool, high fidelity. So now we got a new engine out there that people will be starting to develop in. We'll get to see, hopefully, some cool projects coming from that. I don't really have an article about it, but I want to make sure that people knew about that. TJ, did you see the Rocket League reveal?
I did not, but now that you've informed me that Unreal Engine 6 comes out, no shot will my computer ever run that engine. There's no chance. It barely runs Unreal 5, and games like Borderlands 4 really tasks it. So, yeah, I would have to upgrade to experience this new engine. But I'm glad that devs will have the tools to create some cool stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
wonder what it upgrades over Unreal 5 because there's already some really cool particle effects and like lighting stuff in Unreal 5. So I'd be interested to see what they could do in Unreal 6.
Yeah. All right, moving on to my next one. I did say I was going to try and be more positive, but I forgot this one has a negative twist on it, so I'm going to be mostly negative this week. Sorry, folks. On a separate note, this game I'm talking about, while I haven't played it, is getting high reviews, and you should go play it if you like Metroidvanias, Game Boy style games, and some Souls-like challenge. This comes from Bloomberg and Jason Schreier. Why one of this year's best games, Mina the Hollower, is only $20. The developers at Yacht Club say that charging $20 for their slick new platformer was a no-brainer. Let's see. Small mouse, small price. Last month, the staff of the indie game maker Yacht Club Games gathered for an important meeting where they were about to release their next title, the 2D action platformer Mina the Hollower, after more than 6 years in development. Now they needed to decide how much it would cost. It was a big game with a ton of content, so there were all sorts of nervous whispers around the office as they tried to figure out the optimal price. Should it be 30, 35, even 40? There's no formula or market testing that could provide the perfect answer. But for anyone on the team expecting an intense debate, the meeting was a bit of a letdown. Quote, everybody came in ready to say, I want the game to be $20, unquote, recalled director and co-founder Sean Velasco. Quote, everyone said the same thing, unquote. There were several reasons to sell Mina the Hollower at a budget price, aside from listening to my advice. I don't know why that was in there. Maybe that's Jason kind of talking about himself. Artemis, let's see. One was the massive success of last year's Hollow Knight Silksong, which sold more than 7 million copies at $20. The developers at Yacht Club knew that rising costs had made a lot of products feel less affordable, and they wanted this purchase to feel like a no-brainer. Mina for just $20, what a steal. More than anything else, it seemed like a good business decision. Quote, we don't want the price to be something that anyone is even going to question, end quote, Velasco said. The stakes are high for Mina the Hollower, which is the first original game from Yacht Club since 2014's Shovel Knight and its subsequent 3 expansions. Mina started off as a side project, but grew to occupy the entire studio, which temporarily shelved a different game 2 years ago so everyone could work on Mina. Velasco estimated that the game cost $5 million to make, significantly higher than the company's previous titles, and the studio burned through most of its runway during development. Late last year, when I visited Yacht Club's offices for a Bloomberg Business Week feature about making of the game, Velasco told me that it was make or break moment for the studio. If Mina the Hollower does not sell well, the company will likely have to shrink, cut costs, and search for outside investment. Quote, we only get one chance at this, Velasco says. That's also why it was $20. We don't want people to wait for a discount. The good news for Yacht Club is that Mina the Hollower is one of this year's top games so far, with a stellar score of 92 on the review aggregator Metacritic. It's the best rated game of 2026 and a strong contender for Game of the Year. It's also very much up my alley, crossing. Okay, that gets to Jason's personal thing, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now this is where it gets a little worrying. Early signals are that Mina will be a strong seller. As of this morning, the game has sold around 55,000 copies on Steam. Yacht Club co-founder David D'Angelo told me. Console sales are not yet available. That's a significant leap from Shovel Knight, which took a whole week to sell around 75,000 copies across Steam, Wii U, and 3DS. Velasco has ambitious goals, however. Quote, if we don't sell 1 million copies, I'm going to be disappointed, unquote, he said. So, the article continues to go on a little bit more, but yeah, oofa. 6 years in development, obviously the cost that they talked about being up there. I mean, in comparison to Shovel Knight, sales are good, like Jason says, but if he's it's hard to tell context and like his tone, obviously in writing,
Right.
but if he's serious about 1 million copies sold and you're at 55,000 after, granted, a day or two, excuse me, like, I'm scared for Yacht Club. And like, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't played a lot of their titles. I did play Shovel Knight. I was late to that party, but I did really, really enjoy it. But I haven't played
Shovel
any
Knight's
expansions.
incredible.
Yeah, but man, they're such a great studio that if this was just like they said, make or break, and unfortunately they get not the return on investment that they spent into this, it's gonna be a bummer. I don't know if it was just a matter of like, you got to cut back at certain points and kind of rein it in and it got out of control or what happened, but I'm scared. I'm scared for that studio.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard of this game until you just brought it up,
Okay.
which I think is part of the problem. I just opened the Steam page, and on the front page, Mina the Hollower nowhere to be found. When Hollow Knight came out, and Silksong that is, and Hades 2 and stuff, they were plastered all over the front page of Steam. So that's a little worrying to me. That's just I don't know if the marketing's not there or what it is, but that the gameplay sounds incredible. I was looking at the Steam page of it while you were reading the article, and it looks incredible. So like I might check this game out myself. I might buy it on a different platform than PC, but we'll
Sure.
get into that in a little bit. But yeah, it looks incredible. So I hope that it's successful. But I think I think this game is gonna, if it is to be successful and sell a million copies, it's gonna have to do so with word of mouth because the marketing just, like I said, it just doesn't seem to be there. So it's gonna have to be one of those games where people play it and then it becomes part of the consciousness where people go, "Oh, you gotta play Mina the Hollower," and then
Mm.
spread word of mouth wise because yeah, otherwise I don't think they're getting to a million copies currently.
Yeah, that's shocking that they don't have anything on the Steam page, which, yeah, very weird. I learned about this game from, shocker, 6-1 Indie Crew and Kyle Stevenson specifically. I guess he had played a demo for this maybe a few years ago at PAX, and it's been something that like he's brought up constantly, or like from time to time, and highly touted. If you guys want more of a in-depth review or his impressions on it, on this week's episode of the Trophy Room, the PlayStation podcast, Kyle did talk about his experience with the game, and he was speaking highly of it. And as I mentioned earlier, like I've seen other reviews that are very high scoring for this game. So yeah, I don't know from a marketing perspective what this team's doing. A little peek behind the curtain back to my own personal experience with PAX. Like I saw, I'm blanking on her name, but like a representative from Yacht Club just chilling in the hotel where we were on that Saturday. So like she was there and talking and doing, like, I don't know, they're obviously active in the events.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's mind-boggling that nothing's at least on Steam specifically. I'm pretty sure it's out and released, like at least from what that
It
article
is. Yeah,
said.
you can
Yeah.
pull it up on Steam. When I went to type in the search bar, it is in the popular searches, so it pops up first.
Okay.
But just on the store page itself in the featured section, yeah, no, you got 007 First Light and Brawlhalla taking up the front page, and then all the
Gotcha.
sales, and of course the Steam Deck. So
Yeah, it's a new and
that's pretty
trending, but
crazy.
that's just obviously
Yeah.
releases.
Oh,
There's
it's in my discovery queue, so Steam thinks I would like this game, so that's cool.
that's good. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Um. So yeah, that's just a big head scratcher. I don't, like I said, I don't want Yacht Club's games to go away because they make really cool stuff. But oof, I don't
Yeah,
know.
rough start.
Yeah.
Rough start.
So we'll have to see. And I got one more. This one's more happy. I might be stealing this one from you, so if I am, I apologize.
Oh, you definitely are.
What do you mean, TJ? Is it from Polygon and Jen Glennon? The Witcher 3 DLC is a proper big expansion, says CD
Yes.
Projekt CEO. Executives at CD Projekt have revealed more details about the upcoming Songs of the Past expansion for Witcher 3, which is set to be released in 2027. If you've been looking for an excuse to revisit the adventures of Geralt of Rivia, it sounds like the upcoming DLC will have plenty to keep you busy. The new details about the expansion were revealed during CD Projekt's financial earnings call on Thursday. 2016's Blood and Wine expansion takes between 25 and 40 hours to beat, which means players can expect a pretty substantial experience from Songs of the Past. Nowakowski, I'm so sorry, said the DLC won't be a literal setup for The Witcher 4, which does not yet have an official release date, but instead a way to refamiliarize fans with the world of the franchise. Quote, first and foremost, we really wanted to deliver a great experience to the fans, a really cool expansion that's going to make people happy that they can come back to The Witcher 3 setting. Indirectly, yes, it is a reminder about the franchise. It is, in a way, a prologue, although it's not a prologue in a verbatim way, in that it's a prologue for the actual Witcher 4, end quote. Elsewhere
Cool.
during the call, Nowakowski also revealed that the company had initially planned to release the upcoming Witcher 3 expansion this year, but held back the launch year until 2027 in order to ensure its quality. Quote, we decided together with the development team that the game will be launching in 2027 to achieve the best possible result for the consumer standpoint, end quote, he said. The Witcher 3 Songs of the Past will be released next year on PlayStation 5, Windows PC, and Xbox Series X. So yeah, I mean, this was kind of in the rumor mill for a while, I think. But cool
Yeah,
to
we
see.
talked about this on the podcast actually.
Yeah, so cool to see it announced. It has a lot of red flags, or at least confusion, coming up on my end. Now, this is coming from somebody who hasn't played The Witcher and The Witcher 3 outside of maybe 30 minutes to an hour of that tutorial section.
Hmm.
So I don't know too much, and I'm going to shout them out again. The Trophy Room, they talked about it, and they have like write-in questions on their Discord. So I was just like, hey, do you think this affects the Witcher 4 release date? They didn't think it does. They made the comment that this is also like a support studio. It's not the main studio that is working on this,
Hmm.
which makes sense to me, but I'm still like, okay, but why? I don't know. I'm trying to think from a business standpoint. Why would you release Witcher 4 and then be like, oh yeah, by the way, go back and play this game a year later? Like, it seems weird that you would send somebody back to an old game after being like, whoa, like from what we've seen of Witcher 4, it's like very impressive. So it just seems
I
odd to
mean,
be like, here's new thing, here's old. So to me, in my head, I'm still like, does this push Witcher 4 to a 28, a 27? What does that mean
I
for
think
that?
I think it's safe to call it an old game now because I think it came out in 2015, so it
Oh,
is
sure.
11 years old, which in gaming years is infinite an infinite amount of time.
Yeah.
Um, Noticeably missing too. The biggest red flag I have is the game will release for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. It will not be releasing for Switch, and
Hmm,
that makes me a little bit sad because
sure.
I did enjoy my time with The Witcher 3 on Switch, which does include the Blood and Wine expansion and Hearts of Stone.
Okay.
So. It's a little baffling that maybe this DLC is a little too graphically intense. Like I know the Phantom Liberty DLC from Cyberpunk 2077 is actually not compatible with PS4 and Xbox One
Correct.
versions of Cyberpunk 2077. You have to have the next generation to play that DLC. So maybe this DLC is kind of like that.
Okay.
Maybe it's really pushing the envelope, which would be cool.
Yeah.
I have The Witcher 3 on PC as well, so I'm not like too bent out of shape about it. But yeah, I just wanted to note that because it is a glaring omission. I don't know if it'll delay Witcher 4. Honestly, I kind of don't care if it delays Witcher 4 or not. I feel like that game, I'm very patient when it comes to CD Projekt Red now, where I'm like, it'll get here when it gets here. Don't rush it out like Cyberpunk you did.
Yeah.
Uh, just develop it, cook. I'm happy enough to go back and play through The Witcher 3 for like a fifth time, because I love that game. So,
Mm,
and The Witcher 2 for that matter.
mm,
So, yeah, I don't mind if they take their time, if this delays it, and I'll be happy to play the DLC because yeah, I have like two playthrough profiles, and one of them is like New Game Plus all the way to the end of Blood and Wine again, so I'm like super God mode.
mm,
So I would love to play the DLC with that character where I have all the sickest armor and the sickest weapons and all the cool spells and stuff. It'd be really cool.
mm. Yeah. Maybe it's just my naivete. I don't even know if that's the correct way I'm using that word. I'm just confused because it seemed like there were momentum was going for Witcher 4. You get the big reveal at Game
Yeah.
Awards, you get the tech demo showing off stuff, and now it just seems like, oh wait, by the way, whoop, there's this, and then just does that mean Witcher 4 is just kind of going away for a while? And then I get into my angry mindset of like, why are we showing things that are fucking 5 years away? Like, we haven't seen Mass Effect in years. We haven't seen, everybody loves to talk about fucking, is it Beyond Good and Evil? No, it's whatever the girl and the pig game is. We haven't seen that in like fucking forever. Like, why? I know you want to get people excited, but when you release things so far in advance, there's a better chance that it's going to get canceled before it turns into anything. Now, CD Projekt, obviously, a bigger studio with a lot of legs. Like, I doubt it would be that case where it gets canceled, but it just gets into this frustrating thing where, yeah, what are you doing? And then you don't, like you said, you don't want a cyberpunk situation. So, yeah, ultimately, yes, take your time, make it good. But then I'm just being an old man over here yelling at the cloud, being like, oh, I saw this 5 years ago. Where the hell is it?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
No, that's a good point. I much prefer the I'll say recent because it just happened with the Star Fox Directs, the recent Nintendo approach where they're like, "Hey, here's this game. We're revealing it. We're showing it off. Also, it comes out in like a month and a half."
Sure.
And it's like, cool. Yeah, now I'm excited. You got me excited for it, and now I'm gonna be able to play it soon. So
Right.
that's the way it should be. I don't really like this. I'm not saying announce The Witcher 4 a month and a half before time
No,
because
no,
that's
but like a
yeah,
year, right? A
yeah,
year
like a
would be
year.
something.
even 2 years would be acceptable. But at this
Mm-hmm.
point, it's going to be 3, 4, 5 years before The Witcher 4 comes out.
Yeah,
Let's just be honest.
because I mean, circling back to even like Wolverine that's coming out this fall, like we got the
Hmm.
reveal of that years ago, right? And then we're all excited when the finally we get a more official trailer outside of that teaser of him in the bar popping his claws, and we're like, yeah. And then I mean, you could see my reaction on social media, but I'm like, yeah, reveal and the release date. It's like a year. I'm like, fuck. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just me being a bitchy moose. That's all. So yeah, sorry for the negativity this week, folks. Maybe TJ's got you more wrapped up in a nice, neat bow. Let's throw it over to him. TJ, what do you got for news this week?
Well, I got one piece of positive news, I guess. So
All
I'll
right.
start with that one just to keep some positivity. Street Fighter 6 releases another new character, an Ingrid, bringing the full roster to 30 playable characters. But here's the more important and more interesting thing, to me at least, is shortly following the release of Ingrid, Street Fighter 6 goes on to break its all-time concurrent Steam player count nearly 3 years after release. The game will be 3 years old on June 2nd.
Hmm.
So the day after this podcast comes out, it will be 3 years old, and it's now more popular than ever 3 years later. That is wild to me, especially with fighting games. They seem to drop off pretty quickly. My most experience with fighting games is with NetherRealm fighters, and they kind of drop support after like 2 years usually, at the most, it seems like. And the player base usually steadily declines from the announcement, even with the DLC characters in Mortal Kombat. They'll get spikes of characters returning to the game, but then it won't be to the height of the initial launch. So this is new frontiers for me, but I think that's really cool that Street Fighter is now more popular than ever, and that's just the Steam numbers. Street Fighter 6 supports full crossplay, so all of the consoles playing with it, that number is probably much higher because I saw the number and it was only like 72,000, which is a lot for sure. It's just fighting games are more of a niche genre, so you're not going to get like the 100, 200,000 players like, Call of Duty or whatever. But yeah, combining that with all the console numbers, like there's a lot of people playing Street Fighter 6 right now. That's really cool to me.
Yeah, for sure. That's great. I'd be curious of like a year on year type thing. Like instead of it, like, is this just a spike or has it been like a consistent thing? Because I'm trying to think, just because I'm in this negative mindset, set, I guess, of like, all right, what factors, what outliers are there? Is it because Street Fighter 6 has been out 3 years, it's cheap? Is it because, like you said, the DLC characters coming in? Is it because the Street Fighter movies coming out and people are excited for that? Is it because Evo's right around the corner, everybody's training up? Like, yeah, what what factors could potentially be going into this? If it's been a consistent, like, hey, steady growth, we're doing good, and like, great for them.
Yeah.
I haven't played Street Fighter 6 in a few years, but I know they've, like you said, they support these games, or at least these most recent Street Fighter titles. Street Fighter 4 had a long run and support with it, with multiple additions coming out with expansions from like Turbo to Super Turbo and like all the funky names that they end up giving it. Street Fighter 5 had a long run. Obviously Street Fighter 6 now is also having a long run. So like maybe it's also just that of like, oh, Capcom's showing their track record of like, these are not games that are going to be a thing in the wind. It's going to be a long tenure here, so players maybe feel more invested because the company's invested too. Could just be that. So happy for them.
Definitely.
Keep going. That's great. I mean, I don't have much attachment with the characters that they have announced in the most recent expansion, but I'm glad that things are coming out for it and the game is being supported. So good for them.
Yeah, we will talk a lot more Street Fighter 6 later on in this podcast because I have been playing just a fuck ton of Street Fighter 6. But yeah, I will say even before Street Fighter 4 though, Capcom has been notable more than any other fighting game company, maybe besides SNK, for supporting the game. Even before DLC stuff, like you look at Street Fighter 3 with Third Strike, there's like how many versions of Street Fighter 3? There's how many versions of Street Fighter 2? So they couldn't do DLCs, but they would keep iterating on the game and like adding characters in and like fixing things with just new additions of the game. So I feel like Capcom's been at this for a while that's just like their MO for Street Fighter. And this is my first Street Fighter game that I'm really playing, so I haven't really experienced that before. But it's really cool to see from the devs, yeah, like that buy-in that like no, we're gonna keep updating this game. They're talking about they said that Ingrid was the last World Tour edition, but that they're going to keep updating the game in other capacities. And they added a new mode called Avatar Arcade, where you can play with your World Tour character in an arcade type situation and learn. Because we'll get into it later, but your avatar learns moves from the masters or the original characters, and you can learn those moves in the arcade mode now instead of having to do World Tour as well. So
Okay.
that's pretty cool.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I didn't think about the old Street Fighter titles. Like Third Strike, I don't know, or at least had that experience with like the support there. But yeah, Street Fighter 2 obviously had a lot. Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Turbo, Street Fighter Rainbow, blah 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 blah. Like there was all these
Yeah.
other ones. I guess I was just thinking like also there was a lot of spin-off titles, but I guess I don't know who worked on those titles, like a Capcom versus S, SNK. Thank you.
Mhm.
And like I'm trying. Of course, I'm blanking on other ones. I feel like there was others, but maybe I'm thinking more just in the general vast gaming library of fighting games. Like Tekken Tag comes to mind, but obviously that's not Capcom. That's Bandai Namco. So
Yeah,
maybe
it's
I'm just
Namco.
talking nothing. But yeah, good for them.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think that's cool. I think a lot of people are playing Street Fighter 6 now. I think that's really good for me, at least.
Yeah.
Um, Another positive piece of news is that No Man's Sky sees one of its biggest updates yet,
Another
entitled
one.
The Swarm. The Swarm update lets players choose whether they wish to join the Weaver, Royal, or Sage factions to progress the galactic efforts against the Hive of Glass, which is an enemy faction. And though everyone is still working towards the same goal, this may be setting the stage for opposing forces later down the line. For example, the Swarm update is built to leverage some of the features and elements introduced in No Man's Sky's Remnant update, like salvage mechanics and the gravity gun. So it's likely that player factions will be used in future updates as well. So that's really cool. I keep talking about No Man's Sky in this podcast, and they just keep updating it with like these massive updates where it's like now you can do Pokemon battles. Now there's factions you can join. Now you can make the Eye of Sauron into a spaceship. Like they just keep adding all these crazy things to the game. So I think that's really cool, and it gets me very excited for Light No Fire because if they can implement half of these mechanics into Light No Fire, it's going to be one hell of a game.
Yeah, I've whenever I pop on PlayStation, I tend to check like if there's friends online just to see what they're playing. And our buddy Justin, who has guests on the podcast, like he's been popping into No Man's Sky. But I didn't realize that the updates were coming out. He's in town actually this weekend as of recording, so I'll have to ask him about it and pick his brain and be like, "Hey, how's it going? How are you liking it?"
Yeah, well, spoiler alert, the new system that I bought, I think I said it on the last podcast anyway, so I don't know why
You
I'm
did.
being coy, but I
You're
bought
good.
a Switch too. So, I just update, I have a No Man's Sky on my Switch. It was a little jank on the Switch Lite, I'm not gonna lie. It was doing everything it could do, for sure, but I just upgraded to the Switch 2 version, which I think was free or $5, I can't remember, but it was very cheap, so
Cool.
thank you for that. Whatever the developer, I forget the developer's name for No Man's Sky.
No.
It don't,
I don't know.
yeah, it don't matter. The point is, I appreciate that. So now I have the Switch 2 version, and it is getting updated constantly. I just saw the update the other day for is it Hello Games? Is that correct?
Damn it, I was gonna say that and then I didn't fucking believe in myself. Yeah, it's Hello Games, god damn it.
Cool. I didn't look it up. But yeah.
I did after too. It was like fuck.
But yeah, that's really cool. That's the Switch 2 version is now like the full version of No Man's Sky with like all the updates and all the cool stuff like that. Something me to maybe jump in. I don't know. I get very intimidated by that game where I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta learn all these mechanics and there's like a timer system where like you're constantly running out of oxygen and it's like
Ew.
I don't know if I can get into it or not, but
Sure.
maybe I'll give it another honest shot at some point. There
There you
is like
go.
a sandbox mode where you don't have to worry about the oxygen, by the way. So there is things to mitigate my complaints. I'm like, no, I gotta play on normal because I'm a man.
Yep. Got that Elden Ring in you.
Yeah, just like where I refuse, if I can't beat a game on normal difficulty, then I cannot beat that game. I will not lower the difficulty to
Oh,
easy no
he's one
matter
of
what.
those.
Yeah. I'm like, nope, I just can't beat it then. It's just too hard. Speaking of games I haven't beaten, Xbox has officially delayed the Fable reboot to 2027. Microsoft cited the large number of major games releasing during the 2026 holiday season as a key reason for delaying Fable's release, which I thought was interesting because I thought when I initially saw they delayed the game, I thought maybe they delayed it to improve the game, before they got it to go gold. Maybe they needed to play test it some more or something. But no, they're just pushing it for marketing purposes and sales reasons. They just don't want to compete with all the 2026 heat coming out. Because to be fair, isn't GTA 6 is coming out this year, right? So that's
Allegedly.
allegedly coming out this year. So that's going to take up a lot of people's holiday space if it does come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just a lot of bangers coming out later on this year, so we'll have to see. Even I didn't report this story down, but Nintendo president said that he's trying to increase the value proposition of the Switch 2 ownership with the price increase, and he's trying to do that through software. So again, we don't know what Nintendo's plan for the second half of the year is, but maybe they could have some heat too.
Right.
So there could be a lot of competition, and maybe Xbox and Fable kind of know more of what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Have you played Fable? Did you play Fable back in the day? Was that a game you enjoyed?
I tried out Fable 3. Someone just gave me a copy because I think they were trying to get rid of stuff, and I was like, sure, it's a video game. And yeah, I don't know, I probably played 30 minutes. I was like, nah, not feeling it. That's it.
Yeah, I heard Fable 3 was like the worst one too. It was like a
Oh,
very
really?
controversial game. Yeah,
Okay.
I hear like Fable 1's supposed to be a banger, Fable 2 is great too. But Fable 3 kind of like drops the ball. It's like a Dead
Huh.
Space type situation. And I've never played Fable myself. I think I've seen it played when I was like in Florida one time randomly. I think I saw a friend play Fable a little bit, but I've never played it. So I'm actually really interested to play this reboot. I would like to give it a shot. I like fantasy RPGs, and Fable is supposed to be like one of the, or at least it was. It used to be one of the pinnacle fantasy RPGs, like on the Xbox back in the day.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'll be interested to see what this reboot does. But now I've got to wait till 2027, so that's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah, only February. It'll be here before you know it.
Yeah, that's true. And then a game that I have played, and I've played for potentially too long, and that
Shocker.
is Marvel Rivals. NetEase has issued a large wave of bans in Marvel Rivals, publicly listing 504 players who were found exploiting the game using cheats, assist programs, or client tampering. The studio's official blog post states that all these players have been perma-banned from Marvel Rivals following an investigation into cheating in the game, and further states that any repeat offenders could be subject to account bans, IP bans, or even whole device bans. The team states, maintaining a fair and honorable arena is our primary directive. We continuously combat cheats, scripts, or illicit tech through multi-layered anti-cheat monitoring, abnormal behavioral detection, historical data reviews, and manual verification. The Marvel Rivals team signs off the blog post by squashing rumors that fraudulent players have been deleting the game's anti-cheat, stating that these claims are completely false and that NetEase's in-house anti-cheat cannot be disabled independently of the game. So that is good news if you're a Marvel Rivals fan, because no one wants a cheater. It's well, I already have a hard enough time with Marvel Rivals. I don't need anybody beaming me with some Moon Knight darts from across the map. That doesn't feel good at all. With some aim assist.
Yeah, fuck
what do
them.
you- it's cool that they first of all, I didn't know that their anti-cheat was in-house. I thought that they used easy anti-cheat for some reason, but I guess they do not. They have their own in-house anti-cheat system, and it's pretty cool that they also have manual verification and that they're this dedicated to stopping cheaters and stuff.
Yeah.
That gives me confidence in the game's future for sure.
Yeah, you gotta assume this is in the competitive level, so I don't know if we would ever see it, because, like, why bother cheating in quick play? It's like we talk about where people are, like, popping off in the chat, and like, it's quick play, calm the fuck down.
It's quick
Like,
play,
it's not
yeah.
that big a deal. But, so yeah, they're taking their competitive and their game seriously, which, yeah, I appreciate, because, yeah, what are you doing, people? Just relax. It's a fucking game.
Yeah.
You're not even going
Yeah,
after money. And even then, why would you risk it?
Yeah, it's a freaking game. Why cheat? That takes the fun out of it. You know what I mean? That'd be like playing soccer, but then you just like all of a sudden, I don't know, you get some magic cleats and you can just hit it in the goal every time. It's like, well, now it's not fun to play soccer because I just use my magic cleats and then I just
What is this,
win.
the Mia Hamm like Mike movie?
Yes, that actually, you know what? That sounds. I gotta go watch that now. That sounds. You're bringing back some memories.
Like Mike, good times. Like Mike too.
Yeah.
Hey.
Good times, great times. But that's gonna conclude it for news for me. That's all I had this week. Although I did have The Witcher 3 and the Steam
Oops.
deck. Oh, one more thing I wanted to comment about the Steam Deck that I forgot to, by the way, before I move on from news into what we've been playing. Um, no shot is the Steam machine under like $1,100 now. There's no way if they're gonna
No
sell the
chance.
handheld at $950, they're gonna sell the Steam machine at like 1,200. It's gonna cost more than my computer, I swear to God.
Yeah. Yep. And we were wondering about that before all this price hikes of like, okay, where does it compare? How does it compare? And yeah, no, it's I'm sorry, this thing's gonna fail. It's gonna be another Ouya. It's gonna be another Stadia. It's gonna just fucking shit the
Gonna be another
bed.
Steam OS. Steam has tried to launch a hardware platform before with Steam OS, where they were like, you can do anybody can manufacture a Steam OS machine, but it just it failed because of the prices of those things and how cumbersome it was. And now they've streamlined it, made it easy. Say, hey, we're gonna make these in house, but the price is just gonna be astronomical. There's just no way, especially with the RAM crisis. And there's a reason that it is now, as of this podcast, it is June is June 2026, and they said in the first half of 2026 we're gonna get the Steam machine. Well, you got a month, buddy, to announce it and release it. I don't think that's gonna happen. So I think they're gonna announce it maybe this month, but I don't think it's gonna be out for release, and I think it's gonna be an absolute nightmare. I think there's a reason they haven't announced it. It's because it's gonna get really bad publicity right off the bat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think they risk it and like showcase it at Jeff's show for this high price?
Oh gosh, maybe. Maybe you never know. Never count Valve out.
I would have the most eyes on it, but yeah, that's risky. Risky.
Yeah, it's gonna be worse than the PlayStation 3 price reveal. I feel it's gonna be way worse than that.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
But that's it for news. So now we get into the next part of the podcast, which is, hey man, what have you been playing? So, hey Brett, what have you been playing, man?
Hey man, I've been playing this high-tech game called Fetch with a cat. No, for video watchers, they're like, Jesus Christ. I've been muting myself, so hopefully the crinkles don't come through. But yeah, Artemis wants to play. On a serious note, there's 3 games I'd like to talk about this week. First one would be Mixtape. I have finally played Mixtape all the way through and to completion and platinumed. Haha, in your face. But Mixtape, I highly touted it the first week I played it. And I don't know if I'm as high of a level I am, or I was as on Mixtape. But I think it's very... The game's still phenomenal. The experience is still phenomenal. And the dynamics between the characters is great. I think it hits peaks and valleys for me, but the valleys are never like, oh, it's bad. It's just like, this didn't resonate as much as the peaks did. And I think it is dependent on the musical tracks, really, which they said is like key experience there. I feel like there was only a few times where I'm like, oh, this is perfect. It's hitting on all cylinders, where the gameplay's kicking ass, the music's really going, and stuff like that. I would still highly recommend this to everybody to try out. I think it's that good of an experience. But in terms of like that euphoric state I felt at the beginning, how I talked about a few weeks ago of like 30 minutes in and I'm like feeling so good, it didn't last for me. But that's a personal thing where it's the music didn't hit. So like even playing through it again, replaying that first mission, I still got that feeling every time of like, ooh, the goosebumps. Like I've added that track to my music playlist and just listened to it on my own without the game, and I'm like, yeah, this is great.
I don't want to interject or
Please.
spoil much of Mixtape, but I gotta know, what is the song, man? I gotta know.
So I was tempted because here's the curtain, look behind. Hi guys, in a few weeks I'm gonna be visiting TJ, and I'm trying to figure out, like, do I bring my PlayStation like I did last time I visited and just be like, hey, you play it, and just have you sit down and play it. But I don't know if I'm gonna do that because just travel logistics, but we'll see. But for the opening sequence, and I'll go into because it's just the opening, you're introduced to the three characters, and it's kind of presented like a TV show movie at certain points, where Stacy is your main character's name. She's talking about how, like, the music is so important to her and, like, the history of stuff. And she's like, compact discs and this. And it kind of interjects, like, this real footage from real life of, like, production and stuff. And as you get introduced to the three main characters, you're skateboarding to Stacy's house in preparation for your wild, crazy last night together at a party. And you're skateboarding from, like, this mountaintop to your neighborhood. So it's the mixture of that skateboarding mechanics, but the song that's playing as you're going through is That's Good by Devo, which I had never heard this song before, which is what I really appreciate this game for, is it's, you know, expanding my music taste and library. Like, obviously I knew Devo, which I think most of us know it from Whip It, because that was, like, their biggest thing. But hearing this track from them, like, oh, this is really good. But it's got a fun beat. The skateboarding's great through it. But something cute that they do too is all the characters, they have, like, a significant beat in the song that goes like bam bam every once in a while, and the characters all together will be like and just clap with it as you're going along, even though Stacy's the only one with the headphones going on. But if you watch the other characters, it goes, and it's just like, oh, this is so cool and cute, and, like, just a fun dynamic with the characters, the how they relate to Stacy's playlist that she makes. So yeah, that just opening scene I really resonate with, and it has me in the feels. There's a few other times where I kind of got that. There's one song, which I don't know if you know it. Fans of, I think it's the 80s Transformers movie. Okay. You got the touch, that song.
Oh, I know that song.
That's in this game, and I only know that. We shout him out all the time, but Maximilian, dude, I knew it from that. So when that started kicking in, I was like, oh fuck yeah, this song's great. And it's tied into this, like, mini game with baseball. Now I will say I suck at that mini game, but this one character, I can't remember her name. I feel like it starts with the letter C, but I'm not even going to try it. She's played baseball as a kid, because her parents kind of forced her into it. So she's just pissed off, and you're in the baseball field, and you have the little thing going where it's shooting out the balls. And as you hit them, if you hit them, you nail them into home runs, and the stadium around you transforms from, like, a high school field into, like, a legit MLB stadium while this music's going on. And it's like, oh, once you're hitting it, it kicks so much ass. So there's that scene. And then there was one more where Stacy has to run across town to try and save her friend from something. And you just literally are Stacy running through neighborhoods, running through houses, jumping fences, going through yards and whatnot, and the chaos of it. Kind of like a Ferris Bueller, how that makes you feel when he's, like, running home at the end. It had that same dynamic to it. So there's, like, few scenes that played out like that where I'm like, yes, I'm loving it. This is awesome. But then there was other times where the mini games were good, and what they're having you play through is really good. It's just the song choice with it. I didn't, once again, reach those peaks that I did at the other times, which I guess it makes sense. If you peak all the time, it's going to level out where it's like, it's good. So all in all to say, I really enjoyed Mixtape. I highly recommend people play it. It is a shorter game. I'd say 3.5, hours through it, depending on how you play the not open world sections, but the intermission sections between those sections of the game where it picks up. But the characters are great. The story they tell really can resonate with a lot of people, so I recommend it there. So there's Mixtape. I alluded to it last week. I tried to surprise TJ and play Chicory for the quiz. So I'm going to talk about Chicory this week. Chicory is still one of my top games, one of my most favorite games. It was something that I had played a few times in terms of like put a few hours into, absolutely loved it, and then for some reason dropped off. This is my first time playing it all the way through, and I think playing it all the way through has just added to the feelings that I was feeling before of the high recommendation feelings and stuff like that I got from it originally. So really quickly, if you don't know what Chicory's about, your main character, which you name after your favorite food, so I'm going to refer to my guy as Cookie, because that's what I named him. Cookie's a janitor, and Cookie is a janitor for the Wielder. The Wielder is like this magical person who wields a magic paintbrush, and they are in charge of maintaining the colorful world that goes around and helping out its citizens. So you're the janitor for the current Wielder, Chicory. And all of a sudden, Chicory kind of goes missing, and the brush is left behind. And you pick it up, and the world just gets drained of all of its color. And you're like, uh-oh, well, I got to go find Chicory and try and fix this problem. And as you're going around, you notice like everything's in black and white. You're trying to help the citizens the best you can because you want to be helpful and be supportive and whatnot. And they see you with the brush, and they're like, oh, are you the new Wielder? And you're kind of like, yeah, I'm the new Wielder, because you want to feel important and you're like trying to help people out. And so you kind of bring back color. It's like a coloring book where you can color in different things however you want to, or just kind of splash color here and there. But you also use the brush to solve puzzles as you're going through, kind of Zelda-esque, through this area and find where Chicory is. So that's the basic premise of it. But the main thing that resonated with me throughout the story is the talks about mental health in this game. Both you, your main character, and Chicory have their own struggles that they're dealing with. Chicory, she feels very overwhelmed. She doesn't believe in herself, and she feels like she can't meet the expectations that previous wielders have kind of set before her, those high expectations, the bar, whatever it is, and she kind of is in her head. And your main character feels similarly, but they feel like they're kind of chasing themselves. They don't know who they are, and they always want to be better than what they don't feel like they're doing enough, and they're just constantly chasing after like acceptance and whatnot. And through their interactions with each other and interactions through other characters, they kind of learn like, hey, it's okay not to feel okay all the time, but then also grow from it and kind of start believing in themselves more. So I really appreciated that and enjoyed the story that these two go through. And I think it has a good narrative throughout of like overcoming and fighting back these dark thoughts and feelings that are enveloping them throughout. And yeah, so I finally finished Chicory. It's going to remain on the top of my list for a long time, and something I'll definitely recommend to people. It's about 8 to 10 hours maybe if you kind of went a little faster, but there's no rush to this game. There's a lot of side stuff that you can do, whether it's helping out the citizens or because it is an art focused game, you can take art classes. So the whole game is like a twin stick shooter type thing where you control one analog stick controls Cookie or your main character, and the other one controls a brush, and you have to kind of, at certain points, which can be difficult, manage both at the same time when you're kind of fighting off the baddies. But for the most part, it's a very chill game. Like I said, if you want to paint and fill in the pages or the plots of the map that you're in, you can do that. The art classes kind of allow you to recreate their in-game art pieces that they have, or just be like, hey, what's an expression of joy? What brings you joy? What makes you angry? Draw those things. and then you can see those paintings across the map as you go through it.
Mm.
So it's a lot of fun. I feel like I kind of rambled a little bit and was all over the place. Um, but I highly recommend Chicory. Very good time. I believe it's on everything, but if not, it's definitely a lot of places. So yeah. And then last one for me, just gonna talk about quickly because I streamed it a little bit last night. It's Batman, Lego Batman. I'm not super far in Lego Batman, but this game has a lot of charm to it. You mentioned it on stream. Looks incredible for a Lego game.
Right?
Insane graphically, like you could see all the details of the Lego pieces. There's weather effects and the rain falls on the Lego pieces, so you can see all that. The city looks beautiful. The thing that I've been enjoying the most, honestly, has been the free roam. After stream last night, I finally unlocked the glide ability, so I've just been grappling on, gliding around, getting different collectibles, and just exploring the city. Speaking of collectibles, there's a lot that you can find here, and those collectibles will reward you with either bat suits or Batmobiles or different costumes for other support characters that you play along in this journey. There's random crimes that pop up that you can stop if you want to. It's been a lot of fun. And one thing I noticed too is it feels, I don't know if they have like some TV shows have this where it's like a master book of like, this is how every character acts, this is all the settings, like your show Bible, I think it's what it's called. I don't know if they have one of these for like what Gotham looks like, but driving around in the Batmobile, I'm getting so many reminders of Batman Arkham Knight. And I'm like, oh shit, I remember this in Arkham Knight, and there's it Legified, and like, oh, there's this, and oh, there's that. This is so cool. So it's so fun and kind of trippy to notice all these landmarks as I'm driving around, obviously in the different setting of the Lego versions of them. But I've been absolutely loving my time with it. The story is good. I wouldn't say it's anything that's going to be like amazing. From what I've heard of other players who have played more of it than me, there's 5 or 6 chapters, and each chapter kind of focuses on like an era of Batman. So chapter 1, which I'm in, focuses more on the Batman and what's the guy's name? Robert Pattinson's film. So I'm interested to see where the other chapters take place. There's a lot of different bat suits in here, and there's a lot of references, so I'm sure they're going to get like, oh, maybe Michael Keaton's Batman, and like, oh, Adam West's Batman, and like do all these fun stuff and kind of take inspiration from all these and make their own story with it. So I've been having a lot of fun with it. Looking forward to playing more of it this weekend, but it's been definitely more of a chill experience, not like a sit down and focus hard story type of thing. But that's what I got. TJ, I know I talked a lot. Did you have any questions about any of the 3?
Not just Batman. I didn't realize that they included the Batman into it. I thought it was just going to go straight for the Nolan trilogy. That makes me really excited because I'm actually a really big fan of the Batman, and I really love that film. So if I could play through that, that would be really cool. I love that suit and everything, and
it's different from other Lego games where they do like, oh, Star Wars, for example. Here was episode 1. You're going to play missions that are like following along with the Phantom Menace. This is a purely original story where there's a lot of inspiration where, oh, this scene may reflect what happened in movie YZX, whatever, but it's not following scene by scene the movie. So like, for example, in chapter 1, it's an early one, it's in the trailer, but like that famous penguin scene where they're driving around the city and Batman drives through this like explosion and Penguin's like, oh shit, as he looks outside of his car. Like that's recreated here in the Lego version. But yeah, you're not following step by step with that story in that movie.
Okay, that's still even cool. It just world inspired by the Batman is cool, but seeing all the different references and stuff would be really cool. And yeah, watching the game last night on your stream, the lighting in that game is incredible. Like there's like lighting bouncing off the bricks, making them look plasticky and everything. Like it's very cool. So I'm very intrigued. I'm waiting till they port it to the Switch 2, to
Mm.
be honest with you,
Mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm.
I may have to pick it up.
Very cool. So TJ, what about you? What have you been playing, good sir?
Yeah, bought a Switch too, like I said. So I have not turned on my PC at all this week to play games, only to do work. So I've just been gaming on the Switch 2 exclusively, and I've been playing three games. I've been playing Mario Kart World,
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing Street Fighter 6, and I've been playing Cyberpunk 2077. All great games. But I want to talk about the system a little bit first. Just it is. Wow, it is such a step up in quality from the Switch 1. It makes the Switch 1 almost not the Lite, but the original Switch 1. It makes it feel like a toy, like
Mm.
toy-like almost, like with the quality of the Joy-Cons, the way the magnetics Joy-Cons slap into place, and additionally, even small stuff like the hinge on the back to set it up into tabletop mode, or my personal favorite, the game card slot. I always thought the game card slots felt really flimsy in the especially on the Switch Lite, and I'm constantly switching out carts because I got to buy everything physically on the Switch because I can't collect PC games physically. So I'm collecting Nintendo games physically, and yeah, it felt really flimsy. But here it's like a whole metal chunky thing that you take up, which is great. But speaking of changing carts out, game key cards are the worst thing I have ever seen because not only, what do you mean? What do you mean it takes a full download? So Street Fighter 6 is a game key card and it is 50 something gigabytes. Okay, that's fine. I accept that. But what do you mean I've got to put in the game key card every time I want to play the game? It's the worst of both worlds. You have to switch out the physical cards and you have to have the the space to take them.
This man hasn't played on a console in a while. Welcome to console gaming, TJ. The key's on the disc, you download everything, but you still gotta put the fucking thing in. Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, is that how it is? Because that's awful.
Yep. Same with this game. Same with this game. Same with this game. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't know. Yeah, I was just out of the loop.
Yeah, if you
I've
have
just
it
been in PC
physical and
gaming so
disc, yeah,
long.
it's that way. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that makes me want to collect physical a little bit less, but I'm still gonna do it. So ain't no stopping me now. And speaking of which, Nintendo, this is just for all the Switch 2 owners out there. Nintendo did announce, and I talked about on the podcast, how digital games are going to be $50 and physical games will be $60 or 60 and 70 respectively, depending on the price of the game. Well, Amazon is actually honoring the digital price of games.
Hmm.
So for at least for pre-order. So if you want to buy Star Fox, if you buy it on Amazon, it's actually $50 instead of $60.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. That's kind of a win-win. Nintendo's digital uh uh what do you call it? Like
Discount or whatever.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah, discount, whatever it is. Their policy. That's the word I was looking for.
Hmm.
Their digital policies paying dividends in the real world because Walmart will apparently also honor the $10 off if you
Cool.
bring it in. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I got the choose your own game bundle, which you very kindly brought up to me. But then I chose Mario Kart, so I could have just got the Mario Kart bundle anyway, but it's okay. I think Mario Kart World is a great game, actually. I haven't played Mario Kart in a long time. I played Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, and then I played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch, and I got so good at Mario Kart 8 that I trivialized the game and made it boring for myself. I would just constantly get first place in everything, so I would play online a lot, and I would still constantly get like between first and third place. I was just so good at those tracks and stuff. So I haven't played in quite a while though. That was probably in 2019, 2020. So it's been about 6 years since I played Mario Kart. And jumping into Mario Kart World, it is so refreshing to have all these new tracks and new mechanics. And I'm like actually struggling to get some of the 3 stars on some of the Grand Prix. Or actually, notably, the thing I want to talk about really is Knockout Trial,
Mm.
which is great, or Knockout Tour, whatever it's called. It's Knockout something.
You're right. Sure.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, and man, is it really fun? I love playing it online, but I also really love that they included it in the single player experience, making it probably the best, unless you buy all the DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, in which case that is the best single player experience because you have 96 courses. Literally, there's 96 courses in that game. It's fucking insane. But in Mario Kart World, um, the fact that there's knockout tours and you have to get the triple gold stars for all the knockout tour maps as well as all the Grand Prix, that's the most content there's been in a Mario Kart game for single players since Mario Kart DS probably. Because Mario Kart DS had missions, I believe.
Mm.
It wasn't a lot, don't get me wrong, but they did have some missions. Um, and yeah, I haven't had this much fun playing a Mario Kart games probably since Mario Kart DS, honestly. I've been really enjoying myself playing online, playing locally with my family, playing with my sister and my mom and stuff. Just playing single player. Just every time I have a couple minutes, I'm like, let me just throw on a race and see if I can get the triple gold stars for the Grand Prix or whatever. So been having a lot of fun. Don't understand the hate. I really don't. I've been really enjoying it. It's awesome. I love unlocking all the characters. I've unlocked all the carts already, but there's a lot of characters that I have not unlocked because you have to you unlock carts just by getting coins, so just by doing races. But to unlock the characters, you have to play as the original character and then get some food items, and it'll change them into a different character.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of characters I don't. I have like every Luigi and
Mhm.
like every Waluigi, but I don't have like all the Marios or all the Warrios and stuff like that because I just don't play as those characters very often.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's really cool. And I'm a little sad that the car customization's gone, but I do like the standardization of the carts because it makes me want to experiment a little more. Because when I did the car customization, I always chose like the same tires and the
Mhm.
same glider and stuff like that. But now I'm like, what if I choose a heavy character and choose like a light cart? Or if I choose a light character and choose a heavy cart and like, kind of mix and match different things like that. And it's been really fun. So really been enjoying Mario Kart World. I'm glad that that was the game that I chose for the bundle because it's a good like turn your brain off, just do a couple races and also, we can race when you come here. You're talking about bringing your PlayStation 5, but I've got the Switch 2 now, but I've
Yeah,
got a lot of multiplayer games.
the Switch 2 is obviously more portable, so yeah, that's a definitive on the plane. But it was like, yeah, do I bring that? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So that's been Mario Kart World. I've also been playing Street Fighter, like I talked about earlier on the podcast, and man, I have been loving Street Fighter 6. It took me a little while to get into. I was a little trepidatious of it because there's a high learning curve to Street Fighter, even with the modern controls. Now, what are modern controls in Street Fighter 6? You can actually, if you choose modern controls, it maps your special moves to one button press or a button push and a directional input just like Super Smash Brothers. So basically, your special moves are like the B moves in Super Smash Brothers. They're just your special moves. Um, I love that. I think it's awesome. Some people will complain, or they did previously when the game first came out. They're like, "Oh, classic controls," because you're just cheating if you use modern controls. But I watched a Maximilian Dude video on this, and he was talking about it, and he was like, "That preconceives that you think that being good at Street Fighter." Means using special moves, which is not the case. To be good at Street Fighter, it's more about your spacing, your footsies, your teching grabs, you're using your resources correctly, using your specials at the appropriate times, things like that, and not necessarily just using specials. So, yeah, I think being good at Street Fighter is a lot more than just using your specials. So I've been using modern controls, and I am unabashed about it. I love it. It's helped me get into the game a little more because it doesn't have modern controls is Mortal Kombat. And I play Mortal Kombat a lot. They have a lot of quarter circles, half circles, and backwards forwards motions. And a lot of projectiles will be backwards forwards motions, in particular in Mortal Kombat. And while I can hit it like 75% of the time, 80% of the time, in the heat of a battle, sometimes I'll drop doing a special like 3 or 4 times in a row. And then I'm just kind of standing there awkwardly flailing and that just feels bad. It just doesn't feel good, especially when I'm like, I know I can hit this. Why am I not hitting this quarter circle right now? Why am I not hitting this backwards forwards? And it prevents me from getting to a higher level of the game because it's like, well, if I could have thrown a fireball right there, that would have been perfect timing, but I can't get the stupid timing down. So unless I spend another 100 hours in the training mode to get my executions perfectly down, I'm never going to get to a high level of this game. So I really appreciate that Street Fighter takes that barrier entry away. If I wanted to do a Hadouken as Ken, I just push one button. And so I can always make sure that my projectile is timed exactly when I need it to be timed. Um, it's very cool. This is the first fighting game that I've played online, like consistently. I've actually been playing online with people, and it is so much fun to play online. I'm constantly, every time I'm matched up, now I am doing casual and not ranked fighting, so that is a caveat. But in casual fighting, I'm constantly finding people who are just at my skill level. Like either I'm a little bit better than them or they're a little bit better than me. Usually they're a little bit better than me, but sometimes I'm a little bit better than them. And we play, and then the thing is, it's usually not just a one and done. Usually I'm fighting people 5 or 6 different times because we just keep hitting rematch because we're so evenly skilled. Because they're just fun fights, and like we'll go back and forth. Like maybe I'll take 2 games, they take 4 or something. But I never feel like it doesn't feel like when I'm playing like a Mortal Kombat online, for example, where you're just getting steamrolled, or like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, when it's like I'm just gonna put the controller down because he's been doing a combo for 3 health bars right now, and I haven't touched the ground yet, so I guess I'm not gonna play the game. But in Street Fighter, it doesn't feel like that at all. I feel like I'm learning something every time. I'm like, oh, okay, he's jumping in. I need to be better at using my anti-air at the appropriate times. And it really gets you engaged because Street Fighter to me feels like, and this is why I didn't like it at first, but why I'm loving it now. It's like the basics of fighting. It's like the core mechanics of fighting games is like really everything that Street Fighter relies on. It doesn't rely on a lot of extra flashy stuff. It's mostly just the core mechanics. Like
Mm.
you're really, if you want to be good at Street Fighter, you're really going to be learning about using your anti-airs, doing your spacing, throws. Throws are a big part of Street Fighter 6, and Street Fighter in general. Like they take a lot of precedent and stuff. So just learning like, okay, I got to get better at you can't react to a throw, to throw tech. You have to predict it.
Mm.
So there's like this mind game where you're predicting throws, and then you can react to the, I forget what it's called. I think it's called drive impact,
Yeah.
where they do like the paintbrush move.
Yep.
Um, you can react to that actually. So you've got to constantly be on your toes to be like, oh, they just pushed drive impact. You've got like a 1.5 second window to push yours, and then you will counter it and destroy them. But it's really, if you're not paying attention, if you're slacking, you will get hit with it every time. Same thing with people jumping in. So I've just been really enjoying how engaged Street Fighter 6 has made me feel while I've been playing it. I'm like really getting into it, and because of the modern controls, it feels like I'm actually able to play those head games about the grabs and the anti-airs and stuff. Like I'm actually able to get to that next level of the game where like I'm actually competing against somebody. Which the only other fighting game I've ever felt like that in before is Super Smash Brothers, because the inputs are so easy in Super Smash Brothers. You always know what you're doing, or you can always execute what you want to do. So it's more about like playing the other person and trying to outplay them and stuff. So you kind of get into mind games, especially with Samus, where I'm like, oh, I only charged her super whatever it's called, the super cannon. I only charged it halfway and then shot it, and that timing fucked you up. So now I hit you, and then I delayed the missile a little bit. It's actually the homing missile, not the super missile. So that hit you. So just cool stuff like that. Street Fighter's made me feel that same way, which I said I haven't felt since Smash Ultimate or just Smash in general. It's awesome. I
Very
love
cool.
Street Fighter. That's just one part of the game too. I will say you can matchmake while you're in training. So
Mm.
Street Fighter 6 is actually the only game that I've actually been in the training room for, because I would just train, do a couple moves, and then oh, it's time for me to fight somebody. And then it kicks you right back to the training room while it matchmakes again. You can also do matchmaking while you play arcade mode, which I thought I would like more, but I wouldn't recommend because if you get called into a fight in the middle of your arcade mode fight, you have to start that whole round over again.
Yeah.
So even if you're on round 3, you have to start the whole fight over again. And sometimes I'm playing arcade mode on hard right now just so I can like get a little better and fight people online. And yeah, sometimes you don't want to have to refight the hard, like when you're towards the end of the arcade mode, you're like, I really don't want to have to fight that level 7 CPU again. I'm gonna get my ass kicked. So that's cool. But yeah, that's just one section. Street Fighter 6 splits it up into like 3 sections of the game. The other sections are Battle Hub and World Tour. World Tour, I thought I also wasn't gonna like, and I did not like at first, because it was like creating your own avatar, and I thought mine looked silly and stupid, and I didn't want to play as my own guy. I wanted to play as Ken. I wanted to play as Luke or Marisa or something. I wanted to learn their moves so I could like get better at the game. Um, but the core mechanic of World Tour is that your character actually is like training from the Street Fighter Masters, and you actually just choose their moveset. So Like, even though I'm my own character, I'm fighting with Luke's moveset, so I'm basically playing as Luke. And that translated directly to I got a little bit good with my avatar, so then I went and I fired up Luke and I went online and I won. I actually did pretty good because I learned some skills and stuff. So that's pretty cool. It's cooler than I thought, and with the new avatar arcade mode and other stuff like that, like I'm actually kind of invested in trying to get as much money as I can so I can make my avatar look as cool as possible. He's got long hair like yours, Brett, and some
Hey.
glasses, so he looks cool. He looks pretty cool. But yeah, Street Fighter 6, really been enjoying it. And also I've been playing it on the Switch too, like I alluded to, and it runs so incredibly well on the Switch too. You really can't tell that it's like a Switch 2. Like when I'm playing it on the television, I'm like I forget that I'm playing this on a handheld device. It's that good. And it is full crossplay with Xbox and PlayStation and PC,
Hmm.
which is incredible because a lot of fighting games on the Switch 1 especially were locked. Like Dragon Ball Fighters, you can only play other Switch players, which is a bit of a bummer to be honest with you, because that game would be great to play against like PC gamers and stuff like that. Like that player pool being split like that isn't very cool. But it's great in Street Fighter. That's all included. So it even tells you in the corner of the screen like what platform the
Hmm.
person's playing on. So I've been getting quite a few Switch 2 players, but I've also been playing people on PC. I've been playing people on Xbox and stuff. So it's really cool, and it makes me feel like I'm actually a part of the Street Fighter community, and like I'm actually you know part of the FGC instead of just like secluded into my little Switch island
Hmm.
over there. So
Very cool.
I will have to update you on Street Fighter, but yeah.
Yeah, I am worried. Obviously, you've been on this fighting game kick for 3 weeks now, maybe 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And you already were beating my ass years ago in Street Fighter 6. I alluded to it, that infamous just loss run that I was on. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting when I visit.
Yeah,
Of like, ooh boy.
I'll use other characters.
No,
Also,
no,
you might want
no,
to practice.
no.
I'll use
You're
I'll use
fine.
other characters.
Um, I was gonna ask, what characters have you been using? Because I know last time when we did play, I think Marisa, who's the big like Olympian, right? I think she
Yeah, she's
was your
awesome.
main. Have you been sticking with her, or who have you been playing as?
I have not been playing as Marisa actually. I really I kind of don't like her abilities now that
Hmm.
I'm like into that next level of the game because I feel like she has very limited options.
Mm-hmm.
So I've actually I wanted to learn the fundamentals of the game, so I picked up Ken.
Cool.
I've been playing as Ken. I really like his design in Street Fighter 6. I think he looks
Yeah.
sick. He's very cool, and he has he's a Shoto character, so he has moves and abilities for any situation. You know, if somebody's jumping in on you, you can hit sure you can. You know, if someone's trying to outzone you, you can sure you can. So it's very or Hadouken, whatever. Uh the moves, you can do the Street Fighter moves. He's got a move for every situation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool. It's been very helpful to learn the game's mechanics. I've just learned how to do some of the other super moves, which I felt a little dumb not realizing some of the button inputs, but I was like, oh, that's really easy to do on modern controls. So
Mm.
now I've been using my supers properly and stuff with Ken. But I also I plan on learning Terry Bogard
Oh, I
because
forgot
I
Terry was in it.
love. Yeah, Terry's in it, and this Switch 2 version includes it's the 1 through 2 years pass,
Oh,
so it
fantastic.
includes his character, yeah, for free. And I also spent $1.50 so that I could buy his Garu Mark of the Wolves costume.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got
Mm.
the bomber jacket and everything, and I'm like,
Smart.
yeah, I've got to learn this character. I have to. It's very cool. I feel a little bad because I'm playing Street Fighter and then I'm not going to play a Street Fighter character, but it's because this is like the first Street Fighter that I'm playing, and I'm immediately like, guess character that's
Yeah.
not a Street Fighter. But yeah, I'm at least playing Ken. I also want to play Lily. I'm not very good with Lily, but
Oh, she's the
she's got
brave?
like two little baton
No.
things. She's like a little
I'll
yeah,
look
look
her
her
up.
up.
Yeah.
She's wearing like a poncho.
Oh, maybe she was DLC.
No, 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 she was in the beginning.
Oh, then, well, my memory's just butt cheeks. Lily. Oh, Lily age came up. What are we doing?
Oh, whoa,
Yikes.
oh,
Oh,
oh
okay. Yeah,
no.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I like that I don't know what those things are that she uses. I don't know what those are called,
They're
but
like cricket bats. I would
Yeah, they
say.
are really cool. I like them, and she has a command grab for her basic special move.
Mm.
So there's like that additional head game where it's like, oh, I'm gonna I'm gonna get clock, I'm gonna command grab you, but you gotta get close to do so. So you're playing footsies. So I really want to learn Lily as well.
Cool. Very nice.
Those are my main characters. Yeah, but Ken online primarily.
Man, I forgot how cool the character designs are.
Yeah, the game is just eye candy. It just looks great
Yeah.
in their Resident Evil engine. Like
Mm-hmm.
really good looking game. Um, But yeah, I've been playing that just a lot, and I'm actually upset that we're recording right now because I'm not playing Street Fighter 6.
Soon, sir. Soon.
Soon, yeah. But another game I've been playing is Cyberpunk 2077. Now you might ask yourself, TJ, you've played this game for like 300 hours. How are you still playing this game? But there's cross progression actually.
Oh, neat.
CD Projekt Red did the same thing with The Witcher 3. Actually, The Witcher 3 save profile that I have, that I mentioned earlier, that has all the cool gear and everything,
Yeah.
was actually my original Switch profile that I transferred it to my PC. And so now I've done the opposite with Cyberpunk, where I've taken my PC profile and I've transferred it to my Switch too. So now I'm able to play like my 100-hour character, and it is awesome. It's great. I also started a new game. I just wanted to see how the game ran and stuff. But yeah, it does chug, I will say, in the 100-hour character. In the Phantom Liberty DLC, it chugs a little bit. Just a little bit, not too bad, but the rest of the game runs incredibly smoothly. It's like seamless. It took me a minute to get used to the 30 frames per second. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a frame snob kind of guy. I'm not like that at all. But the character that I was playing is a knife throwing character. And I'm just so used to playing at like 80 frames a second with the knife throw, where it's like so exactly specific that it took me a while. It was a little choppy getting used to that knife throw on the 30 frames per second on the Switch too. But other than that, it took me like maybe 5 minutes to get adjusted, and then I was hitting those headshots again, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, I've been really enjoying Cyberpunk 2077, and I'm very impressed with that port. I know I just talked about two negative things, it being 30 frames and also the Dogtown chugging, but that's literally the only two caveats. Like it's the exact same game. It runs so incredibly well. The combat is flawless as always in that game. Just incredibly fun. The graphics when you're talking to Cyberpunk has always been one of the best games in my opinion about talking to NPCs. Like they make a casual conversation feel like a cutscene when it's just like a guy in a booth and he's just like the character animations of just like someone like just smoking or whatever just feels so natural. And they've completely captured that on the Switch too. Like it feels like the same game and everything. There's no caveats. This is not a Witcher 3 situation where the Witcher 3 can run on the Switch, but it's like, well, we could do it, and so we did do it. But the Cyberpunk feels like it's not taking any. There's no detractions to it really. There's no like drawbacks. It's not like if the only version of Cyberpunk 2077 you could play is on the Switch 2, I don't feel like you're missing out on anything. In fact, you're actually getting a little bit extra stuff because they added a lot into the game, and they kept updating it pretty late in the game. So I've been really enjoying Cyberpunk 2077 again. I haven't been playing it as much as Street Fighter or Mario Kart, mostly because I'm too lazy to get up and switch out the game key card. I just leave Street Fighter in and Mario Kart. Because full disclosure, I have a TV above my hammock, so I've been laying in the hammock playing playing Street Fighter, and it's like, oh, I gotta get out of the hammock to switch the game. I'll just keep playing Street Fighter or switch over to Mario Kart. So yeah, been enjoying it though. It's very cool, very fun. Um, that's all I've been playing. I did also I do have Pocopia. That is a game that I own. I just have not started it. I haven't been in the mood for it. Haven't been in the mood. I feel like I got to be in the mood for those kind of games.
Yeah,
So I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see. Probably in the next week. Maybe I'll be playing that kind of game. But I'll be playing Pocopia. But who knows? It might be next week. What have you been playing? Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll have to see. We'll definitely have to see. But that's all I've been playing, really. So now we'll get into the next section of the podcast, which is the mystery section. And for this week's mystery section, there's been a thing going around on grids.fun, I guess it was called. But it's just about me and video games, and it is 20 categories of where you put a game in. And it's like, what's your favorite game? What's a game like this? And then you put a little picture in. So there's usually a visual component to it, but being that this is a podcast, we're just going to talk about it auditorially. Would you like to go band for band, Brett, and just go back and forth with this one?
Yeah, I was gonna ask how you wanted to handle this. I mean, we do long episodes anyway. We talked quite a bit about the news and what we've been playing, and 20 games worth. I'm like, whoa!
Yeah, it's gonna be a long episode.
Yeah. So I'm fine going tit for tat or whatever this phrase is. Do we just want to elaborate on like any game we feel like elaborating on? Obviously, add whatever we want to at that point, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll
Okay.
talk about it whenever we can, or I'll talk about why I think this game deserves that category specifically. Some of them I'll brush over because I've talked about it on the podcast ad nauseum,
Yeah.
or quite a bit, or it's self-explanatory. But some of them I'll delve into a little bit.
Sounds good.
I'll let you kick it off.
All right. Do you want me to start at bottom right?
Bottom right. Oh yeah, you know what? Let's go bottom right and then go left from there.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
And go backwards, reverse order.
Sounds great. All right, everybody. First category is game everyone should play. My choice, my selection for this category, I'm making sure I'm not muted. Good, I'm not. Is Unpacking. I think Unpacking is a phenomenal indie game. And you're probably being like, Brett, what are you talking about? Unpacking boxes and sorting out things in your room? How is that fun? Well, sir or madam who's asking that question, or non-binary friend, good question. It's very calming. It's a very calming game, very relaxing. Just nice sorting out things in the room, trying to figure out like a puzzle where those pieces fit. And I've talked about it in a previous podcast, but there is a narrative to this game. It's not distinctly spoken, but you can kind of picture or figure it out through context clues and the levels that you go through, what your main character's story or what's happening to them as they progress from level to level in their life, what journey they're going on. So yeah, I think everybody should play Unpacking. It's a very easy to get into experience and doesn't require a lot of skill. And yeah, very rewarding. So over to you, TJ.
That's great. I need to try Unpacking. A game that I think everybody should play is Luminous. I put the first Luminous here, but really it could be any of them. They all play pretty much the same. And I chose this because it says a game everyone should play, and I feel like the game that I think that you could pitch this game to anybody on the planet and they could play is Tetris. Like a 5-year-old could play Tetris, or an 85-year-old could play Tetris. Like somebody who's never played video games or someone who plays a lot of video games, everybody can enjoy Tetris. And I feel like Luminous is in that same exact vein. It's a falling block puzzle. It's a little more complicated than Tetris just because of the changing pace and the line that crosses over, and you trying to like build up combos and stuff. But it is a falling block puzzle game, and it is, in my opinion, the best one. It's the most fun one, at least to me. It's one that I've been able to wrap my brain around. So anytime I can pitch Luminous, I definitely will, because I think that's a game that anybody who plays it will probably enjoy it, honestly.
Very nice. Over to our next category. It is nostalgic childhood game. I'm going to apologize now. Hopefully a lot of my selections are not too much of a rehash, but if they are, whoopsie. Shocker, Pokemon Silver version is my choice for this. Just a lot of memories. The Game Boy Advance was like my first console I owned, even if it was a handheld version, and Pokemon Silver was the first game for that. So I have a lot of nostalgia for that as being mine, and then obviously I just love it in terms of a Pokemon game for what it offers. And Gen 2 is very near and dear to my heart for that very reason. So, shout out to Silver version. TJ, what do you got?
Yeah, as I see the little Totodile thing behind you. Yeah. For my nostalgic childhood game, Brett, you ever heard of a game called Iggy's Wrecking Balls?
No?
And by the way, I just want to clarify that Wrecking Balls is spelled RECKIN
Of course it
apostrophe.
is.
There's no W in there. It's Iggy's Wrecking Balls. And that is a game where you play as an iguana who is a ball. He's a sphere, and you play as other spheres. This is a Nintendo 64 game.
We're inclusive
Um,
here. Spheres for all.
yeah, spheres for all. And yeah, there's a girl sphere with like pigtails, and
Oh my.
you, yeah, you race down a track. Um, and you can the only thing, because you're a ball, you just like kind of bounce, but
Uh-huh.
then you can use your tongue, and you use your tongue to grab other enemy balls and wreck them. You throw them around and get ahead of them. You can play as like a Saturn and stuff. They had some weird characters. I used to play this game with my sister all the time on the Nintendo 64, and she would get so mad because I would always be flinging her around with the tongue mechanic. Um, but that's a nostalgic childhood game for me, and I learned recently that if you're a Nintendo Switch Online
See it here.
with expansion pack, you have to buy the expansion pack. You can play Iggy's Wrecking Balls on the Nintendo 64 Virtual Console, so I may have to buy that, honestly.
Yeah, this is a fever dream, dude. There's a ball that's just teeth.
Yes, yeah, I love that
Chatter.
one. Isn't there? Yeah, Chatter is great. Oh wow, what a game! It's great. It's really hard to explain the racing the way it goes because like these 3D tracks, but you're kind of locked on it. I don't know. I've talked about Iggy's Wrecking Balls enough. That's this is my nostalgic childhood game though. I do adore that game. Very fun party game. What game do you have next for us in the best retro game?
Next category is best retro game. I have Super Mario World. I played this predominantly on that Game Boy Advance I just alluded to. Many hours into it. Discovering secrets, flying around in my little cape, getting infinite lives with Yoshi. A lot of good times there. So in my opinion, that's the best retro game. I mean, there's a lot of contenders there, and especially for what we joked about earlier with Witcher being however old it is. Like, well, where's the retro? Where does that fit in? In my head, damn it, that's still retro. Maybe it's ancient at this point, but
Oh my gosh.
that's what I had. What do you got?
Yeah, you know how like the youth nowadays, they'll be
Yeah,
like dad rock, and they'll just be talking about like Linkin Park from like 2004, and I'm like, oh
yeah.
my God, am I old? I got that CD when I was like a child, like on for Easter. But yeah, is that what's gonna happen with video games? We're gonna be like, I played this retro game called The Witcher 3, and I'm gonna be like, oh my God, what is
I mean,
happening?
yeah, I'd be interested. We've brought him up before, but like Freckle Boy, if we had Freckle Boy on and we're like, okay, here's this game, like just keep showing him like games that we grew up with, and be like, hey Chief, here's this, and see his reaction. Like Jesus.
Yeah, hey kid, here's Iggy's Wrecking Balls. Do you like those graphics? Because that's all you got.
Yep. Oh
Oh boy.
boy.
Yeah, for my best retro game, I chose a steady staple, a pretty easy choice, which is just Super Metroid. It's still the only Metroidvania that I have beaten ever to this day. And the combat and the movement in that game is still so fluid. I still recommend that game like to this day. If you like Metroidvanias, like go play the one of the granddaddy Metroidvanias in Super Metroid. It really is just that good. It's incredible.
Nice. Next category for us is best with friends. There's nothing better than playing some cooking games with your friends. I put Overcooked All You Can Eat in here because man, what a time. There's a lot of good choices here, obviously, for best with friends, but Overcooked always comes to mind, just yelling at each other like, I need this, I need this, and just somebody shouting out orders, somebody shouting that something's on fire, and just especially when the map changes in those later levels and just is all chaotic. It's just like, we can't fucking do anything. Great time. So I want to give that a shout for Overcooked. TJ, what do you got?
Well, I just want to mention real quick that I do own Overcooked the whatever edition on the Nintendo Switch too, so we
Noise.
can play some Overcooked when you're here. Yeah, we can burn
Noise.
some. Yeah. For my best with friends, actually, I have two, so I kind of cheated a
Yeah,
little bit.
no worries.
The first one is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Um, Love that game. It is better with friends because there is a mode called Squad Strike, which is, in my opinion, the best Super Smash Bros. Mode ever invented. It's my preferred way to play the game, and you can only play it on local multiplayer. You cannot play it online. So, definitely why that game is better with friends because you wanna be playing Squad
Yep.
Strike. Also a game that's best with friends is Ultimate Alliance 1.
Hmm.
Um, that game is just that's an incredible game. It's very fun, but when you add friends into it, it's a whole other level of awesome.
Mhm.
Just a lot of fun. So I kind of cheated with that one, but those are my two answers.
Very nice. Can I ask a controversial question, TJ?
Yeah.
Because there's two Smash Bros. Players. Smash Bros. Players who play it correctly, and Smash Bros. Players who hate their existence. Do you play with items?
I play both. I'm
Okay,
a
thank
both player.
fucking
I'm a
God.
Smash enjoyer, so it depends on the mood. When I go online, I will play with no items on, and I will play what do you call it? The Final Destination mode,
Yeah,
Omega
flat.
form. I will
Yeah,
play the
yeah.
Omega stages with no items on, and I will do that. And that is a fun way to play the game. But I also love playing with four other players with items on and just having a grand old time.
Thank you. Okay, good. I hate it every time people want to play Smash. No items, just normal bland ass maps. I'm like, this isn't fun. It's supposed to be chaotic and stupid. Give me all the
Yeah.
items. Give me all the stupid chaos in the map. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Oh,
Uh,
I want to clarify as well
yeah.
before I say that with the items thing. Usually I will turn off items when I'm playing with friends a little bit, sometimes for their sake, because I am disgusting with the items. I will throw the items with the R button all the time, and I
Yeah.
can beam someone across the
Of
map.
course,
So
that's part of it.
I'm like, for your sake, let me let me turn this. I will destroy you with this beam saber for the whole match if you let me. So, yeah. So it depends. It depends.
Fair enough. Over the next category, it is my favorite category. It's the turn my brain off game. Dude, this one was difficult to pick because I feel like there's so many options. Um,
Yeah.
I do have an official answer, but I want to give honorary mention to Slay the Spire recently as one of
Hmm.
these. Marvel Rivals I've talked about for this. I mean, any trophy hunting is just turn your brain off essentially and collectathons. But my honor, or not even my honorary mention, my official entry is the GOAT. It's Power Wash Simulator. Just cleaning up some cars, cleaning up a house, getting those little dings of the, endorphin boost or whatever, dopamine rush. Just so satisfying. Throwing on YouTube videos and just cleaning some shit. It's just so great. I loved Power Wash Simulator too. This is more of like a encapsulating just the Power Wash genre as a whole, or the two games. But yeah, I just want more. Just give me more. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I feel like I want to change my answer for these these as I'm answering them. But for my official answer on my picture that I have here, just in case I have to send it to you,
Sure.
I did choose Enter the Gungeon
Mm-hmm.
for Turn My Brain Off. That's a game where I just want to roll a new run every once in a while I have Twitch on or I have another YouTube video on or something, and I'm like, let me just see if I can actually exit the Gungeon this time. Not that game, but see if I can get to the end of Enter the Gungeon. Because I still haven't. I've still never beaten that game, but I still love playing the first three dungeon levels before I die. I still have a blast doing that. So I will always I have it on every gaming platform that I own. I own Enter the Gungeon. So I love just throwing it on, and I will probably do that until I'm 65, I hope.
Nice. Our next category is not usually my thing, but all right. So this is another one where I feel like a lot of things can go in there, but it's a genre that goes in there for me, and it's Souls likes. I
Mm.
absolutely love Souls likes for their art and like the scale and the story that's involved, but boy, do I suck at them. So honorable mentions are Elden Ring. Sekiro is another one up there big time. But my official entry, because it's the only one I've beaten, is Lies of P. Lies of P is in here because it's the only Souls like I survived. Absolutely loved my time with that. We've talked about it. I'm very much looking forward to the second game. I still haven't beat the DLC. I have not gone back and tried that final boss yet. Maybe someday, but as a base game, oh, great time.
That's okay. You can still say you've beaten the game. I've never beaten the Nameless King, the Dark Souls 3 DLC boss, but I
Mm.
still say that I've beaten Dark Souls 3. So you've
Well,
still
yeah, you
beaten
beat the
Lies of
base
P, so it
game. Yeah,
counts.
that's what matters.
Yeah, it counts. It counts.
Hmm.
For me, for not usually my thing, but I chose Marvel Rivals,
Oh,
actually.
okay.
I don't really like multiplayer games very much, to be honest with you. Not really my thing. I'd rather be playing single player games or like local multiplayer games, like fighting games. I feel like don't really count, but other games like that, I'd rather be playing like like Elden Ring or whatever. But yeah, Marvel Rivals is just a good time.
Hmm.
It's just a lot of fun with friends as well. So I've really been enjoying that game, and I think I will continue to enjoy that game, especially when Cyclops comes out.
Yep. Almost time. 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks.
Nice. Next category is best multiplayer. Okay, I struggled with this one because there's also a lot of good entries, but I kind of went nostalgia with it. I put in Halo 3.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of good times with LAN parties, whether it was extra life or not. Just getting 12 to 16 people together yelling at each other. Whether it was just teams or even doing just the zombies mode or whatever. A lot of good times and laughs shared there. So I want to give Halo 3 its flowers with that category for myself. What do you got?
Oh, I kind of want to say Halo 3 now because now that I think about it, that is probably one of the best multiplayer games of all time. Um, but for me, I chose Chivalry 2.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Chivalry 2 is a medieval first person combat game, and it is a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed my time with Chivalry 2 when I played it. There's a high learning curve because of the different mechanics with the swords and stuff and like how you counter and stuff. But if you suck, you can just get a bow and arrow and just be a dick in the back and shoot people. So I kind of did that for a little while until I was okay with the shield, and then I started doing shield stuff. But that game's a lot of fun. If you enjoy the combat whatsoever, it's very deep mechanically, and you can change your classes and stuff. So there's a lot to sink your teeth into, and I think there's a reason that Chivalry 2 is still going strong all these years later.
Nice. Next category is best soundtrack. All right, this one I feel like I keep saying this. I struggled with a lot, not because of a lot of it was because not a lot of ideas came to mind. I know there's a lot of games out there, obviously with amazing music, but video game music's never been something where I'm like, oh, I really enjoy this soundtrack. I'm gonna add this to my music library to listen to often. It's more of like in the moment, this sounds really good, and I kind of leave it where it is, kind of thing. So this one I struggled with. One that came to mind immediately and is not my answer, but I want to give an honorable mention to is Clair Obscura Expedition 33.
Oh
Because
yeah,
their main theme is just amazing. But I didn't want to give it to that because I'm like, I really can only think of the main like song that just goes over and over again type thing, you know? So I was like,
yeah.
eh. But I did settle on one, and this is one I have listened to the music outside of playing the game. And it's Neon White. Neon White, for those of you guys who don't know, is a speedrunner platformer, which I guess also I could have put in not usually my thing because I'm not great at time trials. But absolutely love this game. There's a fun anime inspired story that goes along with it, dealing with demons and heaven and stuff like that. But in terms of soundtrack, while you're running through these levels over and over and over again doing the platforming, there's this like kind of calm zen techno electronic music that's playing in the background, and
Mhm.
it just really helps you, like I said, relax as you're going through like the reruns and not get frustrated of like, oh, I messed this up, oh, I died, oh, this, whatever it is. Just really enjoy it. So I would highly recommend that soundtrack to people, especially if you like that techno type vibes. That's my answer.
That's cool. I want to give an honorable shout out, an honorable mention to Doom 2016 and Mick
Oh
Gordon.
man, how did I not fucking think of
Yeah,
that? Oh, good shout.
yeah. Now
Oh
looking at my
no, now
list.
Killer Instinct popped in my head too.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah. I should have put Doom down honestly, but
Fuck.
the game that I put down, I have no regrets about because you could put this whole franchise down and it's immediately. I'm not a big video game music kind of guy. Like I've never understood like the Nintendo app where it's like you can listen to music outside.
Oh
And I'm like
yeah.
I could give two shits. I don't care about video game music. I'll just be honest, unless There's a little game called Kirby: The Nightmare in Dreamland. I fucking love Kirby music. I'm so nostalgic for Kirby music. Anytime I hear any Kirby theme, because I played a lot of Kirby games as a kid. As I mentioned earlier, alluded to, I had mostly handheld devices, and there's just a deluge of Kirby games on like the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance and stuff. So I'm so nostalgic for hearing all those. Just like driving up to New York, playing Game Boy by the streetlights,
Yep. Oh
trying to play
yeah.
Kirby, just listening to the soundtrack over and over again. I absolutely love the soundtrack, and particularly Nightmare in Dreamland, which is a Game Boy Advance game. That was my jam. Great game because you can, if you beat the game, you can play the whole game again, but as Meta Knight, and that was so sick to me.
I'm trying to remember. I had one on Game Boy Advance. I don't. You said Nightmare in Dreamland?
Nightmare in Dreamland, yeah, that's my favorite Kirby game of all time for sure.
I think. Yeah. I also played this one and had a great time with it. It's my only Kirby game. Dude, I didn't know we both played this. That's awesome.
Yeah, great only Kirby game to play because it is very good. Ooh, I say favorite Kirby 64 is pretty good. The crystal or whatever because you can combine the powers. It's pretty cool, but no, it's probably Nightmare in Dreamland. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that game was very good. And just the discovery element as a kid of like finding out the new stuff and like the new powers every time was like, oh, that's so cool. Man, what a
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, what a great game.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very
I love
cool.
Kirby. Love me some Kirby.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Next category: favorite antagonist, favorite baddie. Should be no surprise on my end. It's Boss, Far Cry 3. Definition
Nice.
insanity. Keep doing it over and over again. That man's got my heart and soul. I almost put Joseph Seed, but I still think Voss, even if Far Cry 5 has superseded and become my favorite Far Cry, I think Voss still holds the candle as favorite baddie. Give it to him.
Yeah, that's fair. One of the best video game villains of all time. So, I mean, you can't go wrong. For me, the game that I chose is Ghost of Tsushima.
Hmm.
Uh, Not necessarily for the Mongolian antagonist that
What?
takes place, but for I don't want to spoil the game, but in the third act of the game, you have a new antagonist who may or may not be a former ally. And I thought that antagonist was incredible. The drama and suspense around just narratively everything that you've gone through with these characters to have him become the antagonist, I thought was a brilliant narrative twist and really got me excited to play through the end of the game.
Mm-hmm. Good shout. Good
Yeah.
shout. Now we have the antithesis or the opposite. We have our favorite protagonist, and I shouted him out a few weeks ago. Cal Kestis is my answer for favorite protagonist.
Nice.
Yeah, Cal's fantastic. There's a lot of struggles that he goes through, but I love his journey. And like we talked about, he's such a strong character that if they decided to put him in a live action or put him in an animated and continue his story outside the games, it'd be like, yeah, he's a perfect fit. Um, Cameron Montague, I believe is his name, does a fantastic job as him. And I want more of those games. I just want more.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get a reveal of the third. If not, then maybe I got to replay him because a certain somebody doesn't like him and gets lost. So maybe I got to be just like, hey, buddy, watch me play it.
You go here. Yeah, that's fair. For my favorite protagonist, I dug deep into my 15-year-old psyche. I chose No More Heroes, Travis Touchdown.
Oh, wow.
Uh, yeah, I'm a really big fan of Travis Touchdown, or at least I was. Loved the beam katana, and I was a big champion of adding Travis Touchdown to Super Smash Brothers. They never did, but they did add his Mii costume, and you can play the Mii swordsman with Travis Touchdown with the beam katana, and that was a good enough compromise for me because I love playing as that. So very cool. Definitely my favorite protagonist, even if it's a little juvenile and silly. I still really like him. He's cool.
Very nice. Next category is criminally overlooked. All right, I don't know if it's overlooked, but at least in my circles, I don't feel like enough people talk about it. It's also ancient. It's Shining Force.
Oh yeah.
I think this is a fantastic game. I played it on the Sega CD, I believe, or at least some PC port of it. That was my first experiences of it as a kid, along with other games from the Sega library like Kid Chameleon, Comic Zone, obviously some Sonics, Vector Man, stuff like that. But Shining Force was the one that stuck with me the most. And I am very grateful Oh, I don't know if it's a early easy grab. It's not. It's behind some stuff. But they made a Sega collection for the Xbox 360, and it had a lot of those titles from that CD. So coming back to it as an adult was like, oh my god, the nostalgia factor. And Shining Force was one of my very first things that I streamed, and it helped me build like a relationship and a community early on. And I played it all the way through, but absolutely loved the story that they told in that and all the different characters that they had involved too. I really appreciated, and then I learned of Shining Force 2 and got to play through that as well. So I want to shout out Shining Force.
I've never played Shining Force, but is Shining Force more like Final Fantasy, or is it more like Fire Emblem? Is it a tactics game or is it a JRPG?
I would say tactics, because you do have a grid. You do have, well, not a grid, but you do have like your little troops marching in their place on a battlefield, and then at turns you get to go, move, do your action, do your spell, whatever, and do your thing. So I would say it's more the tactics route. So yeah, I think it would be right up your alley.
Yeah, no, I'll have to check that out. I might have to check. I don't know if you still have the VODs up, but I might even have to check your VODs of Shining Force. I don't know if they go back that far.
Probably not. That's
Probably not. Yeah, that's Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, no, because that was way back 2015, 2016. So I might have the footage if I didn't delete it. But yeah, no, that's long gone. I've been thinking about replaying it. But yeah, Sega Genesis Collection, or rather Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. Shining Force 1 and 2 are on here, along with a lot of other titles. So this might be on Steam. I can look it up as you're going through your next choice. But yep. Fantastic games.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Yeah. I definitely need to. I'd like to try more tactics games. So Shining Force seems like that might be, like you said, right up my alley. For my criminally overlooked game, I chose Gunfire Reborn, which is an indie game. I think I've talked about it on this podcast before, but it is a roguelike first-person shooter, which is everything that that sentence just got me excited. I love this game. It plays like Borderlands. It has like the different ammo types that affect different, like elemental ammo types that affect different enemies' health bars. Like if there's a yellow health bar, you get to use green. If there's a red health bar, you got to use like fire stuff. So really enjoy that. Really enjoy all the different characters. They've added a lot of DLC characters now. I think there's got to be close to like 8 characters or something, and they all play wildly differently. I haven't bought those DLCs. I haven't purchased them just because I enjoy the base game so much that I haven't felt the need to go out and purchase extra characters. But if I ever continue to play it even more, I might have to dip my toes in the DLC, because I think it's a very overlooked game. It's just very fun. It's one of my favorite roguelikes, full stop. So it's great.
Very nice. Sadly, it doesn't look like Shining Force is on Steam or the Sonic Ultimate Genesis Collection, so that's a bit of a bummer. Probably could emulate it. Oh, hold on. If Google here is able to be believed, apparently it's on Nintendo Switch. Huh?
Yeah, there you go.
Huh? Pardon?
Not on Steam, but on Switch? What?
Nintendo Switch Online. Shining Force 2. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I have a Nintendo Switch Online account, so.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's a Sega Genesis Nintendo Switch Online. Yeah, there's Shining Force 2.
I think the Genesis might be included, that you have to have the whatever pack, the expansion pack for.
Gotcha.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Shining Force 1 and 2 are included. Some Sonics. There's a Mega Man. Flicky is a very good one. You're a little bird running away from cats. Kid Chameleon's in there. Yeah, good shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okie dokie, next category is needs a remake. For me, it is, without a shadow of a doubt, Tony Hawk's American Wasteland needs a remake. I've absolutely loved the Pro Skater remakes 1 through 4 that Activision and Toys for Bob did. I think Toys for Bob did that one. Maybe Toys for Bob was Spyro. I don't know. Whoever did it did a fantastic job. And they fucking put posters for American Wasteland in 3 and 4. you bitches you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. This is one of those remakes where I would just be so happy. Like, that would be like the ultimate gift. There's another game that I'm going to talk about in 2 picks that also would be like the remake I never thought would be made. And it's just like a gift from whatever ethereal being controls our world. It's like, I see you. You're doing this for me. But American Wasteland, the reason I want a remake for it is because of the story of American Wasteland. You are essentially just building like a dreamscape park through a bunch of landmarks in California. And to see that remade in modern graphics, I think would just be amazing, and I think it's a lot of fun. You got to talk to a lot of pro skaters to get their likenesses again, which might be a bit of a hiccup in this, but I mean, all the Tony Hawks have that, so maybe it wouldn't be a problem. Who knows? But that's my choice.
Very cool. Yeah, I know you love that game, so a remake would be would really be cool. For the game that I chose that needs a remake, I chose Fallout 3. I just think that it's been a long enough time. I've seen what Bethesda's done with the Oblivion remake, which was incredible. The particle effects in that game, like, looking fantastic. The game looks incredible. But additionally, Fallout 3 was before New Vegas, and as such, you cannot ADS, you cannot aim down sights in Fallout 3. And that makes the game a slog to play at times. You really have to rely on the VAT system and stuff. So if they could make the gunplay at least as smooth as Fallout 4, if not even better now, Fallout 4 has been out for a long time. If they could make the gunplay smoother than Fallout 4, but while having the Fallout 3 choices and game world and stuff, I think that would be like one of the best video games of all time. I think it would be incredible. So I really hope that they do a remake of Fallout 3 at some point. I think that would be a home run, knock out of the park.
Nice. Next category for me is overrated. Another one I struggled with because I don't like shitting on things too much. This is a callback to a former episode, but I put The Last of Us. And it is only because of all the hype leading into my experience of playing it the first time. Everybody was hype. Everybody thought it was amazing. Everybody thought it was a 10 out of 10 legendary experience. So when I got around to it and finally played it, the bar was so high, I could not clear said bar and just went, yeah, it's okay. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. Last of Us Part 2 is higher, in my opinion, because of that too. The bar was not as high for Last of Us Part 2, so I went into it like, uh-oh, everybody didn't like this one, and I absolutely fucking love it. So, it is only based on personal experience. I understand this game is a highly rated game and deserves to be highly rated. That's all.
Okay, well, similarly, well, first of all, I don't mind shitting on this game because I already shit on it in our previous episode with Justin, and I take every opportunity to shit on this game, this overrated game. But additionally, it's another personal thing. I think this is a great game. I think this is a game worthy of the praise that it gets. I just think that's a little bit overrated, and that game, of course, is Skyrim. I take every moment. Talk about how Skyrim just doesn't have the choices that Oblivion has, or like a New Vegas has, or whatever, like the dialogue options and stuff. However, having said that, the combat system's still pretty fun. Like, it's still fun to fuck around in Skyrim, so
Yeah.
I totally understand. And I've made like 4 characters in Skyrim. You just keep rolling characters and stuff. So, very fun game. I just think it's a little bit. Some people say it's like the best fantasy RPG of all time, and I'm like, I don't know about that. So that's right. That's where I get off on that.
All right, opposite. Next category is underrated game. This one I alluded to could also be in needs a remake. My choice is Final Fantasy Tactics Advance for the Game Boy Advance. I love this game, and it's another one that not enough people are talking about it. The blend of child fantasy with the Final Fantasy world. These kids stumble upon into said land and have to try and figure out a way to get home, or at least one of them wants to try and figure out a way to get home. The others are more like, nope, this new world kicks ass. I would like to stay here, and the struggles that you're dealing with there. I love the class system. I love the main characters that you run into. I wish I could play this game more freely. I was glad I could play it on the Wii U, but I don't know if it's another one that's on the Switch or if I would have to resort to emulating it at this point. But yeah, absolutely love Tactics Advance. TJ, over to you.
Yeah.
If you want me to look it up, I can look it up.
Okay, yeah. I was looking up to see if it was on the
I
Nintendo Switch
appreciate
Online
it.
because I do know that they have Game Boy Advance on Nintendo Switch Online with the expansion pack.
Yep,
So
maybe today will
that's
be a good
cool.
day. We'll see.
Yeah. For my underrated game, I've definitely said this game before. Now we're getting into the last like 6 games or whatever that we're about to talk about. The last 7 games are definitely games I've talked about on this podcast before, but I felt like I couldn't put any other game in these slots. And so for my underrated game, it's gonna be Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that that game is underrated. I think it is one of the better tactical games ever made. I think it's one of the better Marvel games ever made. And people really sleep on it because it has the weird Fire Emblem Three Houses or Persona aspect to it. I think that aspect of the game is not too intrusive. It's like less intrusive than Fire Emblem Three Houses, and it's better implemented here. And I love the card system. I just think it's one of my favorite games of all time, and I think it's highly underrated.
Nice. Yeah, excellent shout there. Sadly, no, it is not my day in the sun. Wii U was the
Mm.
last platform it was on. And there's even a little disclaimer of like the date that Wii U store was shut down.
Oh, sad,
So, I mean, I own
sad.
it. If I could, I think, I don't remember if I still have my Wii U. But, fuck it. Whatever. We're going to overhated game. I put Kingdom Hearts in here. People just hate the lore, and because it's confusing, just fucking shut up. That's all. That's all
Shut
I'm
up,
gonna say.
nerds. Yeah. Yeah, I for my overrated game, I have a very strong recency bias with this one. That's gonna be Mario Kart World. Stop hating on Mario Kart World. It's a good game. It's very fun. It looks incredible. It plays very well on the Switch too. Definitely overhated. I don't know why people hate it so much. I think it's just because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with the DLC set the bar so high
Sure.
that there was no way the next game was gonna clear it. But like, just because Mario Kart Double Dash isn't as good as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe doesn't mean that Mario Kart Double Dash is a bad game.
I
You know
love
what I
Double
mean?
Dash. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Mario Kart World, I feel like on par with say Mario Kart DS and Mario Kart 7 for my enjoyment, which
Mm,
is pretty high praise in my book. So
mm. Yeah.
overhated for sure.
Yeah, I wonder if it was just the open world section that they pushed so hard that just kind of fell flat. I think that might be where a lot of people hold judgment, but who knows?
Fair. Yeah.
All right, final five. Our next category is best combat, and there was no discussion here. I gave it to Sifu. Sifu kicks ass.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I gave it to Sifu. Just an amazing game. It is very tough to master, but when you get into that flow, that zen state of just bum bum bum, punch, kick, do this, grab this item, smack them, whatever. Whoo-wee. Very, very good. So, shout out to Sifu.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out. I actually cheekily mentioned this earlier, but Cyberpunk 2077, best combat in my opinion. Somehow it is the best first-person melee combat I've ever played, and it's in an RPG. It's absolutely insane. My favorite thing I've made, I keep making characters in Cyberpunk 2077, but inevitably I always end up making a cyber ninja, someone who throws knives and uses a katana because you can block bullets and there's a tiny little reticle and you can actually redirect the bullets back at them
Oh.
with the sword. It is so satisfying. You can also cyber dash. You can get implements where you double jump and you can dash around. So you're just jumping around, dashing around, stabbing people, blocking bullets, throwing knives at them. It is incredibly satisfying. And that's just one way to play the game. You can also do the quick hacks and just which I have another character that just does all quick hacks and you can just like make people you can turn their eyeballs off or you can make it so that their guns jam and stuff like that. Really cool, really fun stuff you can do. It's just basically a combat playground, that game. So yeah, absolutely love the combat in that game.
Very nice. Next category is biggest personal impact. I gave this one to Spiritfarer. I've talked about how this game made me cry, but the reason it got this one significantly is because this is the only game I can think of where I had to pause, put the controller down, feel all the emotions I was going through for 10, 15, 20 minutes before picking it back up. I hate that I can't say the specific thing, or rather, I don't want to say the specific thing because it will definitely be
Right.
a spoiler. And no one's reached out to me yet and talked about this. But if you know, the character, I think you'll know. Anywho, yeah, Spiritfarer. Please go play it.
Very cool. For me, for my biggest personal impact, just the original Super Smash Brothers
Mm.
on the 64. Played it since I was 5 years old. Uh, absolutely love that game. It got me. It made me a lifelong Nintendo fan. It got me into games such as Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Pokemon, Donkey Kong Country, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Star Fox 64. I played all these games. Earthbound. I played all these games because of Super Smash Brothers, and absolutely wouldn't. I don't know if I would be a gamer today, at the capacity that I am if it wasn't for that original Super Smash Bros. Game. So
Nice. Next category is favorite art style. I kind of have two here that, I mean, it's from the same studio. It's from Namada Studios. But Gree and Neva, it's a very hand painted aesthetic with very bright and vibrant colors. I think it's just absolutely stunning and beautiful. So I like that art style of the handcraftedness, whether it is even if it is made digitally, like how they're
Mhm.
able to present that is insane. So I want to give a shout to those two.
Yeah, absolutely. Great eye candy those games.
Mm-hmm. Big
Yeah.
time.
My favorite art style is actually Earthbound. I just mentioned it, but Earthbound on the Super Nintendo. I know it's like pixel art,
Yeah.
but it looks really good and clean, and it's so trippy and weird. Like they have these really weird like scan lines they'll do when you enter combat, where it's like miasma in the background when you're fighting enemies and stuff. It's just absolutely insanely cool. Any screenshot from Earthbound could be a poster on my wall at any point. 'Cause I love the way that game looks. It's just so fun, so
Definitely.
cool.
Very nice. Next category is best story. This is another one where I'm encapsulating two. I'm going to talk about God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok, because these
Mhm.
stories are hand in hand, the duology. I'm going to lean a little bit more heavily towards Ragnarok without spoilers, but that is more my favorite, or what I think is the best story, just for how it continues on what 2018 built. The conclusions, or rather how the stories play out for the main cast of characters that they do introduce throughout that journey. I feel like everybody has a really good send off, or gets a good amount of light shined on them in their story. And that's one that really resonated with me afterwards, of like, it stuck with me. It's not one of those stories where I'm like, oh, yep, okay, and then I'm out. This one I can always think about, and I'm very happy with what they did in that. So that's a 1-2 punch there.
Yeah, very cool. For my best story, 'cause I did include my holy trinity of RPGs in this list. So, for best story, I chose Baldur's Gate 3. Um, there is when you start Baldur's Gate 3, you actually create two characters, which is very daunting for some people. But when you create the second character, there's kind of like a mystery in the first act of the game, like who is this character? Why are they helping me? But as the game progresses, there's a twist, like in Act 2, and you're like, oh, that's who this character is. And then there's another twist in Act 3, and you're like, oh, that's who this character is. And then there's another twist, and it just like keeps going, and it's incredible. That's just one aspect. That's just the extra character that you make. There's also the incredible side stories with like Astarion and stuff, and his vampire lord. There's the stuff with Gale. Just so many great stories in Baldur's Gate 3 that even though I keep replaying the game, I love to play through the story elements of the game just as much every time, because they're so good.
Very nice. Last category, it wraps up to favorite game. I mixed mine up a little bit. I'm gonna put Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, because there's a lot of
Yeah.
memory, a lot of nostalgia with that game. I remember being in college and just constantly looking up videos as we were prepping for launch, and just watching every little thing that came out about characters, reveals, stages, blah blah blah, DLC, things like that. Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, I've talked about my love for Marvel vs. Capcom and the history there, but Ultimate 3 was the culmination of like, yeah, I'm in it. So give it a shout.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a lot of fun memories playing that game with you, actually, as well. That
Absolutely.
actually got me into Marvel vs. Capcom. I played 3 before I played 2. I know, blasphemy, but that got me into the franchise in general. So, love that game, absolutely. Um, For me, it's Elden Ring. There's no I'm not gonna it's Elden Ring. I love Elden Ring. Looking it up on Steam right now, I have 883 hours. I'm trying to make it my first 1,000 hour video game. I don't know if I'll get to that, especially because of the next part of the podcast. But Elden Ring is my favorite game of all time. I don't know how else to describe it. The artwork, the combat, just everything about it is so unbelievably incredible. Even the storyline. I've even been reading the Elden Ring manga. I'm excited for the movie. Just everything about Elden Ring, I'm absolutely obsessed with. It is my favorite game of all time, and I don't think it's going to be toppled anytime soon. So
Very nice. Cool.
yeah. That was it for our About Me video games section. Thank you so much for doing that, Brett, and doing your homework. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So now that you've gotten to know us a little bit better, what games are we looking forward to in the future? Brett, what's the game you're looking forward to next?
The game I'm looking forward to next kind of just stumbled upon me because I forgot I had wishlisted this and I didn't realize it was releasing as of recording yesterday. This game is called One Move Away. We talked about unpacking earlier, and this is essentially unpacking, but you're packing your car. One Move
Hmm.
Away is a 3D first-person puzzle game that blends puzzles with packing vehicles. Players experience packing at various stages of life, each level offering their own challenges. Master the art of packing by completing every objective. This is developed by Rampage Games and published by PlayStack. So yeah, this looks amazing. Like I said, the what unpacking accomplishes with its calmness, but the puzzle aspect of unpacking items. Seeing this was just like, oh, I get to experience that again. And looking through the Steam page, mostly it is vehicles, whether it is a car or a moving van. But it seems like there might also be aspects. I don't know if it's decorating rooms or if it's just packing things from rooms into boxes. Um, but it looks like it's going to be a calm, fun time, which I know sounds weird because nobody likes packing and moving and stuff like that, especially as
Right.
someone who is going to be doing it in 2 months or 3 months. It's like, what? A game about it? But I am looking forward to it. So, yeah, if you liked unpacking, One Move Away is out now.
Very cool. Um, for my next game, it's Elden Ring. It's just Elden Ring again. I'm excited for the Switch 2 port of Elden Ring, which is supposed to come out this year. So we don't have an announcement yet. I'm hoping it's in the next Nintendo Direct, but it is this year. So I kind of cheated because it's just Elden Ring again. But I've really been enjoying my Switch 2 hardware, so I would love to play Elden Ring in a hammock. That sounds like my dream, and it apparently is coming true. I will have two of the three Holy Trinity on the Switch 2, which would be great. Now, if they could just move Baldur's Gate 3 over, I'd be I'd be super satisfied. But I don't think they're ever going to do
Yeah.
that because Larian Studios is not going to touch that game ever again because of Hasbro. So, thank you, Dungeons and Dragons owners. We appreciate you. um, but yeah, Elden Ring though, Elden Ring is coming to Switch too, and it includes all the DLC and everything. So what I plan on doing when it comes out is beelining to the DLC as fast as I can, which is hard because you have to beat Moog, the god of blood, fire blood, blood fire, whatever it's called. You have to go beat him, and he's a cheap asshole with an AOE attack. But if you beat him, and he's kind of end game, then you can get to the DLC. And I plan on doing that so I can get the new DLC weapons
Mm.
and then immediately jumping into New Game Plus. So I can basically play the whole game with the new weapons from the DLC because I have not done that yet. So that is my plan. So yeah, Elden Ring, perpetually excited for it. I just can't wait to play it yet again. But that is it for us for Relatively Gaming. If you made it to the end of this podcast, congratulations. You made it to the end of our longest episode, I believe.
I think we did it. Yep.
Yeah, I think we finally did it, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, I was worried this episode was going to be too short, and here we are. So, but thank you. We appreciate you, even if you watch 5 minutes or you watch 5 seconds or if you watch 2.5 hours. We appreciate you. So, thank you very much. If you have any comments or questions, concerns, emotional outbursts, or questions, I may have already said questions. Please feel free to leave them below in the comments. Maybe not the emotional outbursts. Maybe leave those behind. But yeah, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and we will talk about it on the podcast. But that is going to be it for us. So yeah, goodbye, everybody. We will see you in the Mojave Desert.
Hey.
Goodbye.